killer whale captivity in Ontario. That's beautiful. We live? Hey! I just got a tweet from Phil Demers, that dude who's on the trainer, walrus trainer. They banned killer whale captivity in Ontario. Rich Voss doesn't give a fuck about that, though. Do you, Rich Voss?
Are you kidding me? It's all one of my biggest missions in life is the killer whale. The killer whale. The kill. There's too much feedback. I'm trying to get this.
Too much feedback.
Like there's like a hum.
What are you,
in
Jimi
here.
Hendrix? Wah, 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 wah. Is there a hum?
Like how do I turn it down?
It's there's knobs, right?
Is there a hum?
Not a hum. I lied because I fucked up, so I wanted to make it look like there was a reason I fucked up. Where do you turn it down? What knob?
Number one. This one right here?
Yeah.
Oh.
No,
Well, you guys are.
Is that it? Is that better? Talk.
Testing 1 2. There. Oh my God.
Is that too loud?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
How about that?
No, a little in between that. Okay. It's like a fucking.
Is that good right there?
No, it sucks. I'm like a prima donna when it comes to sound. To tell you the truth, I hate wearing headphones.
Do you? You don't have to wear them.
I don't.
No, take them off. Fuck those things.
I like their little ones. I put in.
Okay.
Yeah. Now look how perfect it is.
Sounds like
I'm a whole new
we're
man.
talking. Jesus Christ. Let's just do this.
I know.
We'll let Jamie handle everything. Jamie, if shit gets weird, let us know.
No,
Brian, you gonna go crazy and stick with the headphones?
I like the headphones.
Wow. You do?
He's
Yeah.
gangster. Look at him. Look at him over there. Are you periscoping?
Yeah.
Just live your life.
Okay.
Did you go back to the little phone? That's the Samsung.
No, I'm using the Samsung Edge. It's really
very nice.
nice, and actually works very well. I'm very happy with it. It's great.
I like that phone. It's a very sweet phone.
Yeah.
I got it for the Ting. I got a GSM card.
Yeah, that's what I did. An unlocked phone, and it's cool. The camera is so amazing compared to it, and if you compare the iPhone 6 with it, it's like night and day difference. How much better the low
camera?
quality. Yeah, the camera is.
I'm a big fan of that Samsung phone. They make a slick phone. That new one, the new Galaxy, the S6 and the S6 Edge, the quality is so much better than the 5. But I really wish they didn't have to go with the now it's not waterproof anymore, and you don't have replaceable media storage.
You can't. You know what's really good?
Battery out.
You know what's really good though is this one. I was completely dead, and it has such a fast charge on it in my car. In like 30 minutes, it charged up to 56% of the battery. In like 30 minutes, it was almost completely.
That's insane.
It's great.
I like them though. I like them. Are you anti-technology, Rich Voss?
Well, I got this, the iPhone 6 Plus, because I want to make my little hands even look smaller when I hold this thing. I can't tell you how many times I lay in bed trying to play Scrabble and it falls out of my fucking hands, and it's just the most aggravating thing on the planet. But what do I use it for? I take some pictures, and maybe I'll record something, internet, Twitter. What else do I need a fucking phone for?
I hear you.
You know, I mean, what recording? That's it. You know, the videos I take of my kids. And that's it, you know.
The cameras in these new phones are fucking incredible. The people that make cameras must be so bummed out. Because they used to think, those little point-and-click cameras that everybody used to have.
Oh, that market's
Who the fuck
dead.
buys those now?
So
I started, a lady the other day took a picture. Not only that, how about the people that buy the ones that are disposable? How white trash are you that you're buying a disposable fucking camera?
You got to bring it somewhere and get it developed.
Yes, yeah, you got to stick. These pictures are great because then I'll send this to my iPad, to my MacBook, and I'll send them. You know, it's fucking. I don't even send them. I put it right next to it, and it downloads to my iPad.
Did you ever see that Robin Williams movie, 24-Hour Photo?
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite movies.
It's a great movie. Yeah. Amazing. But today you'd be like, why would you go? It doesn't make any sense. Why would you get developed? Don't you have a printer? Like, what do you?
I have film
that wasn't that long ago.
Do you have any film that you haven't developed? Like, I just found a camera that when I was 20, I met a girl on AOL and she lived in Chicago. My mom's like, I'm going to Chicago
Wait a minute,
for
that
work.
was 20 years ago?
It was like the first girl I ever met on AOL. It was
so 95.
AOL 1 or 2, and I met her on thing, and we used to go back and forth. And my mom's like, I'm going to Chicago for work, and I'm like, hey, that girl lives in Chicago. So I met her, and we like spent a day together in Chicago. Don't remember what she looked like, but.
That text you sent me, someone's trolling you, obviously.
Oh,
right?
yeah, I found out.
Of course.
Yeah. He thought it was funny to say that he was my son.
Well, you'd have to be, you would have to been like 16.
17.
17?
But I was looking, and there was one girl that I had sex with that I don't remember who she was, and it could have been her.
Did you tell him, send me the pictures of me?
Well, he said it was Asian. I was like, oh, I had my first Asian a couple of years ago.
Lying bitch.
The worst is when you met girl. Like I met this girl once, and she was hot, and I flew to Florida a couple days to have sex, you know, and then like all of a sudden I'm going out to lunch with her and her mother. Like, what the fuck? She's a stripper, so she's pure dysfunction. And we go to a hotel. All of a sudden, right when I bust a fucking nut, all I think is, how am I going to get out of this whole situation? I mean, I'm talking another day and a half of this fucking horribleness. And she was hot. But
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
But it matters enough to get you into the mess.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like anything. Like when you're copping fucking freebase or crack, the whole excitement is going up there and getting through the guns and dealing, and not fucking, you know what I mean. And then it's like you get to home and boom, now I got it. I made it through, the minefields. I got the fucking crack. I smoke it, all right. But the whole excitement leading up to it. The best thing that ever happened to me with these fucking broads, when I pick them up and take them back to my place, in my shitty apartment, they can never stay. I said, listen, you got to leave because my ex-wife drops my kids off in the morning, and I can't have my kids seeing, you. Okay? And especially I don't want my ex-wife seeing you, knowing that I went from her to you. You know what I'm saying? So
that's hilarious.
Getting them out is, when you talk about traveling and getting laid.
It's just amazing the difference. And I don't know if women, I don't think they have this experience. The difference in perspective of before you have sex with them and then after you have sex with them. It's so radically different. Like, before you have sex with them, you can't wait. You're, like, looking at her ass and looking at her waist and her tits. You're like, oh, this is going to be a mess. And then when you're done, you're like, oh, God, what am I doing? That's the difference between being with a girl you really do care about and being with a girl that your body just tricked you, And that can happen to a guy. And that's how like, if you have sex with a girl and then afterwards you're hanging out and talking and cuddling and you love it. You're like, oh, she's really nice. I really like her. I didn't get tricked this time. It's like you don't even know until the fog clears. Like, where? Oh, hello. Hi.
It's so weird how instant it is also. It's immediate.
It's so disgusting.
You could be with a girl and everything's great, like you say, and then all of a sudden, the way she throws a piece of garbage in the wastebasket in your room, you go, I hate her. Okay? Just one little thing. I was with this girl. I'm telling you, it was right after my first divorce. I was working in South Carolina, and I met this girl. You couldn't have been any better looking. Smart, great career, newscaster. So in South Carolina, we're fooling around. It was great. I'm like, did I really find love again? Right? You know what I mean? I was like, she's beautiful, fun to be with. She came to Alabama where I was working. I guess, whatever, it wasn't far. Great weekend. Then I'm in Florida, and she flies down to see me. And we're laying in bed, and I'm really sick. I have a fever. And she goes to touch me, goes, what can I do? And I go, well, the first thing is get your fucking arm off me. Not like that. I said, don't touch me. And then I knew, like, you have to get out of here. And I took it. I can't do this. And she was perfect because I'm so fucking damaged in life that I'm going to destroy everything around. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When you have that damaged personality and that, the whole, I'm not good enough or I'm not, somehow you're going to fuck it up. Mm-hmm. That's what's great about Bonnie. She's as damaged as I am. It's like,
Is she really?
Really? Really? Let me tell you a story. Okay? And we told on our radio. She grew up on a fucking farm. Okay? When she, I guess 11 or 10, she had to have a major operation, something removed from down here. I don't know what it was. It was, no, God, I wish she still had one of those. So she had to have it removed.
Right.
11 years old. And she lived in Cold Lake. And her parents put her on a bus to go have the operation in like Toronto or wherever, 10 or 11 years old, maybe 9. by herself because her parents couldn't leave because it was harvest season and they were farmers. They put a 9 or 10-year-old girl on the bus to go have part of her body taken out.
Oh my God!
In the hospital, you know, and then come home. You know what I mean? I think maybe they visited her at one point, but she grew up, you know, poor in the beginning, sleeping on dirt floors, you know, and then they're, you know, farmers and killing chickens and this and that, and you know, but she was always creative, brilliant. Fucking, I read one of her books she made as a kid called Chicken Island. You know, she wrote a book as a kid, just brilliant. That's how my kid is, and then if you don't think she's damaged, she went out with Mark Cohen, who's a guitar act. How can you not? Fucking nothing against the guy, good songs. But she's a comic and a female.
What happened to that guy?
Huh? I don't know. He was married, had kids, and his wife did some cancer stuff or whatever. And I always got along with him.
He was a good guy.
He was a nice guy. He was a great guy. Everybody liked him.
Yeah.
He was a great guy. He was funny.
Is he out of the business?
No, I don't think so. He's probably just doing whatever, you know.
Just never hear his name anymore. Sometimes that happens, you know. You're around a guy all the time, and then for whatever reason, you don't hear their name anymore. They just stop like exchanging circles, or you know, your circles stop interacting with each other.
Yeah, there was this guy Anthony I knew, and you would always hear his name,
Anthony
Kuma, and
Kumia.
But you don't hear
Opie and Anthony.
Yeah,
that
and
guy?
you don't hear his name anymore. No.
Well, he's still preaching to the converted. How many? Do you know how many podcast subscribers he has? Because he's subscription only, right?
Yeah,
which I think
22.
22 people?
Yeah. No, I think he's doing all right.
I think he's doing all right. He charges like $5 a month or something. Is that what it is?
I think he's doing. I've done this podcast. It was a lot of fun when I went out there. If he was in New York and they are setting up in New York, then it'd be like
he needs to move to ad based though. If he moves to ad based, he'll be fucking huge. He's really good. He's funny. He's a funny fucking guy.
Not only he's very smart. He's politically smart.
Yes, very smart.
He knows politics. He knows what's going on.
But people are not going to pay. They're not paying to subscribe to things, especially when you can, for the same amount, you can get all the channels on Sirius, all of them. And how many shows do you do a week? You do like 3 a week? 4? Do you do 4 a week?
Yeah, but what's $5 a month? I mean, really, if you think about it.
To me, it's not that much, but if you're broke and you have to like make your decisions, you know, there's a lot of people that are broke. Like a lot of people don't like Sirius for that very reason. Because they have to they have to think, okay, that's another $5, and this is another $5, and it all adds up. If you're chipping away, that all adds up.
Especially when there's so much free content nowadays. Even with Periscope, I was just watching Bert Kreischer the other day for like an hour, and you know that's all free, and that was just like a podcast, but it was live and
Joey does the morning joint. Joey Diaz every morning gets up at 7 o'clock. He lets everybody know. Like, he gives you a 10-minute warning on Twitter, and at 7 o'clock he lights a joint and starts talking shit. And he talks shit for like 5 minutes, and then he says, all right, go wash your pussy. Have a good day, you motherfuckers. Go kill it. Go kill it out there. And he gives you like a little motivational speech. But I think that kind of shit is the future. You know, and he's going to get ads for Periscope. That's what he's going to do. That's how he's going to handle it.
Yeah.
That's the future.
Yeah, I mean, look, Anthony, Opie, they're all set financially. I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know how, you know, they did pretty well. You know, his house. Have you been to his house?
No, I've seen pictures of it.
Fucking
though.
unbelievable. It looks like Victoria Gotti used to live there. It's fucking beautiful. You know, it's real, you know, fucking statues pouring, whatever. You know,
It's got money.
It's got fucking money. It's
So
real
that was
Italian.
from Sirius? Sirius gave him a ton of money?
Yeah, you know, he was with them forever, those guys. They were with NEW and Sirius, you know.
So did Sirius want to get rid of him because they were paying so much money?
I doubt it.
Is that part of it?
No, I think no. Yeah, because they're corporate, and once you say,
Brian thinks yes.
Huh?
Brian
You
thinks
think it was over money?
Oh, I think that there's a lot of money problems over at that place.
They're trying to cut. There was an article about them cutting Howard Stern's money.
Yeah, I think they're cutting the fat is pretty much what they're probably thinking about right now.
Yeah, but
They just took a huge loan out.
Sirius did?
Yeah, like was it a year ago? Millions and millions of dollars. And this was like the second huge loan I think that they did just to kind of bail them out and give them some time.
But I thought their stock went up. I thought they were down to like...
Yeah, to $1.30.
Yeah, but it was at 10 cents.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, you could have became rich.
But it was
off
real
of that.
high at one point in time.
Was that $4 or
Yeah.
$8? You know,
I don't understand stocks. I
neither do
really
I,
don't.
but I just know if
It just makes no sense that a company could be worth 4 times as much with the products exactly the same. Like, what's happening? It can crash. The stock can crash. But what changed? I think the idea of stocks is fucking completely ridiculous.
Do you buy stock at all, Joe?
No.
You should invest in Twitter right now, though, with this Periscope about to blow the fuck up.
Twitter doesn't make any money at all, man.
Yeah,
I have people that do it. Yeah, I mean, I do have stocks. I have funds. I invest in a bunch of different things. But quite honestly, I think the days of people making fuck tons of money just on stocks, those days are numbered. It's weird times now. I don't really know what I'm talking about. I should say that. I fucking know almost nothing about finances.
I invested, and this was years ago. I think maybe $2,000 back when and my problem is I have a gambling problem like every other problem. So every day I'm looking at it to see if it went up or down, you know, and then it's. You know, I'm going, this is doing great. Then all of a sudden dropped, and I just said, fuck it, I got to stop this because all I'm doing is thinking about is this thing. And it's only like fucking $2,000 or $3,000, but.
What you invest in?
It was a mutual fund. Oh. So it was a bunch of things together, right? And I ended up saying, I'm done with this. I made like $400, but I would have lost it all. I would have lost. And it wasn't much, but it consumes your head. You know, because if you're in Vegas gambling, you're thinking, oh fuck, I lost this here. If I get it back here, if I do this, if I just get 300 today and 300, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Then if I get even, then maybe I can fucking win a little here, and that's all your head's going on when you're gambling in Vegas. You know, numbers and numbers are going through your fucking head nonstop in Vegas, or at any casino, and I can't even imagine with stocks.
It's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's the same exact thing.
Yeah, you're sitting there all day. You got 10. Say you got 10. You got 10. You're invested in 10 different companies. All day long, you're back and forth. This fucking company's losing. I got to throw money over here from here. You know. Yeah. Fuck, it's too much. Just go shoot craps and either win or fucking lose.
Yeah. It certainly is gambling, and in that a lot of guys that are attracted to gambling, they get involved in stocks, and they get the same itch. It's going up, and fucking sell. Like, look at the floor. When you see the floor and they're yelling and screaming at each other, which I don't even think they do anymore. I don't think they do it the same way. I mean, I think when we were talking about that with people that understand, who the fuck was it we were talking with when they were talking about how that people have bought property closer to Wall Street so they could trade quicker because they're trading with algorithms, and it's all about like nanoseconds, like literally the distance in the pipe between the office and the floor, the trading floor, makes the difference between selling and buying at the right time.
Wow, it's like a ping.
Yeah, exactly. So they invested in all this real estate around that area. Real estate around Wall Street is fucking worth astronomical amounts of money.
Well,
just all you need is a small office.
Yeah.
You take that small office, you put all your servers and all your stuff in there, you do all your transactions from there, and it's amazing.
Well, a lot of the stuff I learned about Wall Street and stock was from Trading Places, so I know a lot about it.
That's a good reference point.
Huh?
They know.
Yeah,
that was a good movie.
I see these guys, but during the whole market crash and the banking, and I'm not really the smartest when it comes to this subject. When people lost their homes, their fucking life earnings, not one of those cocksuckers went to jail. Okay, but you fucking do whatever. They'll throw Martha Stewart in jail for a couple, but no one from Wall Street was ever indicted for anything.
Yeah, no one other than that Bernie Madoff guy, but that guy was just stealing. That was a totally different animal.
That wasn't Wall Street. That was to divert your attention from Wall Street. That was just a Ponzi scheme. Well, no, he had nothing to do with Wall Street. That was a Ponzi scheme. Right. Okay, he wasn't working out on Wall Street. He was just scamming people for money. That wasn't the banking, giving mortgages to people that can't afford them. And, it started off with the real estate. It started off with the real estate salesman. Yes, we can get you into this house. then to the broker, then to the bank, and they're giving out these fucking houses to people that get. And Bernie, that kept people's minds off of really what was going on down in Wall Street, because it happened at the same time.
What amazed me about that Bernie Madoff thing is that people that understood money got robbed. Like a lot of people, I guess it was just greed. I guess like he was offering such a large percentage of return on your money that people they just said, look, I'm going to take a chance with this fucking guy. Whatever he's doing it right. People make it 25% returns, all those crazy returns. But he just banked on people not cashing in, which is just amazing.
But when's enough too? When, like, how much money, like there's people that lost millions. Mm-hmm. You know, so when's enough for a person, or you know what I mean? Like, look, you take corporations. When's enough where you're going to start treating your fucking employees like human beings? Start giving them
corporations are very tricky, because with corporations, it's all about they have to continue to make more money than they made the last year. It's all about infinite growth. So, like, if you made $1 million this year, you have to show them, you know, in the first quarter of the next year, we're up 5%. And you have to keep doing that. If you don't keep doing that, then you're losing money because you have stockholders. And your main obligation is to earn these stockholders' money. Yeah. I mean, that's what you have to do. And if you don't do that, they'll get rid of you as a CEO.
Well, it's the same as any comedy club. If I go in a comedy club, if they make money and I make money, we're happy. As long as you don't lose, you know, I fight with comedy clubs. I go, well, you didn't lose last time I was there. Well, we didn't make, well, look, you didn't lose. There's a profit, okay? I talked to these employees from Costco after a show a couple weeks ago. They're fucking paid 30-something an hour, health insurance, kickbacks from whatever they spend there. I mean, this corporation is great to their employees.
Costco is.
Yeah, they're fucking great. I'm talking to these ladies that have been there 20 years, 18 years, that are making, you know, for $35 an hour. And getting health benefits, and whenever they buy products there, a percentage of that goes into their whatever fund. So, I mean, it's a great corporation. But there's other ones, I don't want to say names because I don't want to get fucking sued, but you know, when's enough? How much money does a certain family need before they start taking care of their fucking employees?
For a lot of folks, I think what happens is that's the only way that they keep score at things. You know, the only way you keep score is money. And if you're not making more money than you were making before, you feel like you're losing. They never feel like they're accomplishing anything unless they're making money. They don't have a quantifiable score on anything else. It's not like, you know, like if you were doing something else that you really enjoyed doing on top of making that money, you know, like something competitive maybe. I think there's a lot of what goes on in business is competition, you know? I mean, it's a lot of it is sort of what made human beings in the first place. It's like this desire to constantly move ahead, constantly, you know, make everything better, progress, keep pushing forward. Like that whole desire that led to cities, agriculture, that's the same sort of instinct that leads people to continually pursue and get greedy and greedier.
Yeah, it's drive. Yeah, and the best point is when they don't have anything else to fall back on. You know, when they... I don't know. I mean, look, you look at Trump. I don't know about his... I know he knows how to build fucking golf courses. This fucking guy knows how to build...
Well, you're a golfer, so you understand that.
And I've been to some of his courses.
Does he golf?
Yeah, he golfs. You know, I've heard stories, but he golfs.
Heard stories about what? He sucks?
No, I heard he's okay.
What stories have you heard? You say I've heard stories.
That he plays a lot of golf. He plays a lot of golf.
Does he gamble?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know. No, I'm just saying he'll fly in on his helicopter, you know, but he likes to win. He likes to win in life.
Right.
And maybe let's even say, we'll use a Malcolm X term, by any means necessary. Whoa. He likes to win. Okay? So, I don't know.
I feel racial tension in the room.
No.
Do you feel it?
Awkward boner.
But, okay, so he's is well off in life, but at least on the side he's doing something that gives him passion.
Right.
Do you know? And he's building these golf courses, and he's going to play. And I'm not pro Donald Trump or anti or saying. I'm just saying that this is a guy that, besides building big fucking skyscrapers all over New York and everywhere, he's got his thing is building and playing golf.
Remember when he was trying to say that Obama wasn't born in America? He was chasing that down. Obama was born in Kenya, and his birth certificate was fake.
But you know what's going to be funny? When that all comes out, Obama says, you know what, you guys.
After it's over, after he did 8 years.
He's done, look.
All right.
Death to America.
In the interest of total disclosure, I am, in fact, a radical Muslim terrorist. I've been infiltrating and trying to weaken America from the inside. All of you white people in Iowa, you were all right.
Yeah, the white people in Iowa.
All those fucking crazy Christians that take back America, folks. Have you heard the Rick Santorum song, Take Back America? Oh, yeah. We played it yesterday.
Yeah, but who's ever in office, the other side's going to hate him and trash him and do whatever. I mean, look at Bush stunk. Obama's not the best president on the planet either. None of them, you know, if you're a fucking Jew that votes for Obama, there's got to be, I mean, he's not really, really pro-Israel. You know, he's not anti, but he's not the.
So if you're a Jew, you have to be pro-Israel. Is that the deal?
Well, no, because here's the thing: you don't have to be pro-Israel, but anti-Semitism that runs rapid throughout Europe.
Rampant.
That's the word.
I guess it's rapid as well.
No, I'm rampant. Look at fucking. This isn't fucking Bonnie or Norton correcting me. I say some wrong words every now and then, but you know what I'm saying. But you know what I'm talking about. Yes. What did I say? Rampant.
Rapid. I'm pretty sure you say rapid. Did you say rapid?
No, rampant or rapid. I bet you can say ramp. It runs rampant or rapid.
Rampant or rapid?
I said rampant. Let's look it up.
That's not it.
Rampant?
Rampant.
I said rampant. Wait, what did I say?
It's rampant. Rampant.
Okay, what did I say? Rampant?
You said rapid. I'm pretty sure.
It runs rapid.
It could have been anything.
It could have been. But you knew what I was talking about.
Basically.
Okay. Anti-Semitism.
But just in case someone listening is young and impressionable, and they might go use that same word, like when they're going for a job interview or something like that. Well, you know, I think disinformation runs rapid throughout this world. And
okay. But
I would like to.
We'll talk about a couple things I know that I can't fuck up. Okay. So.
Jews, Obama, what?
Okay, so the anti-Semitism throughout Europe. That's,
right. Oh, yeah, it's
that's
bad.
Out of control.
Have you seen that thing in France? What? You know, they had this guy dressed up as a Jew walking through these Muslim neighborhoods in Paris. Like, whoa, there's some fucking that's obviously where Charlie Hebdo happened, where they killed those guys for drawing those cartoons of Muhammad. There's a lot of anti-Semitism in Europe.
Yes.
I was talking to Ari about it. And Ari and his brother actually lives in Europe, and he said that essentially they were just like really tolerant of all sorts of different religions, and a lot of like really radical people moved there because of that, because it was a good place for them.
Well, it's going to overflow. Whatever happens, it overflows. The anti-Semitism in this country. The people in this country really think Jews run this country. They really think that, huh?
They don't.
Do you really?
I've been getting these newsletters.
I was explaining to a comic, you run this country. There's 3% of us in this country. 3%. Now
they've done really well though.
Yes, we're good. Yeah, but how could you? If we did, that would say the other 90%, 97% is pretty fucking.
Damn, we need to get this number down.
Okay, 3%. Now wait a second. And I'm saying this is, you know the WASP run this country. Fucking Walmart, Chase Manhattan Banks, it's all fucking waspy old school money.
Right.
But this fucking world and country could not survive without Jews. Medicine, science, the arts, fucking we have given back more to this country.
You.
Yeah,
you're part of that?
Yes, I am. I kill on stage every time. Listen to me. If you're in Ventura this weekend at the Ventura
the Harbor Comedy Club?
Yeah, I'm there Friday.
I heard it's a great place.
Friday through Sunday.
I heard they have top-notch comedians there.
I'm there this week. And
You're there this week?
I don't fail. Okay, a word or two might get messed up, but you'll know what I'm saying. But I'm not going to fucking fail. So Jews have given back to society.
Right.
We've won more Nobel Prizes percentage for science and medicine than anybody else.
That's true. European Jews, they're like number one when it comes to Nobel Prizes for science.
These phones right here, where do you think that technology came from?
LSD.
Koreans.
Jews.
No, the Chinese people and Steve Jobs. He did acid.
Yeah, but
Steve Wozniak.
Listen.
He was the genius behind it all. Is he Jewish?
No. They're the ones who thought of the technology in them.
Oh. Jews?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Do you know what you're talking about?
There's part of the phone right here
What's
to
that?
here.
Well, that
Jews. Jews. Okay? 3/5 of this phone, Jews.
That's the part where the notifications pop
right
up?
Right here, this area, Asian, okay?
Asian?
Yeah.
Okay.
This area right here down in the bottom corner, you know.
Italians.
Yeah.
My people don't contribute shit.
Yes, you do.
I'll never buy a Ferrari, ever. The fucking tires will fly off on the highway.
You guys
people
are great.
don't pay attention.
Construction.
No,
what are you kidding me?
Yeah,
You're running
bit.
construction.
Maybe. Barely. A little artistic stuff, but nothing engineering-wise. I don't trust them.
No, you know, Italians, I got to admit, they've added a lot.
I'm not impressed.
Oh, you're not?
Not impressed with my own people.
I don't know. I just fucking. You didn't see Boardwalk Empire?
I did. I saw a little bit of
fucking
it.
Good. Fucking, you know.
It's just I think that like when it comes to technology, the people that I'm most impressed with are the Japanese and the Germans. Japanese and the Germans seem to, especially when it comes to engineering, like cars, automotive engineering. It's hard to fuck with those two people.
Yes,
the Japanese and the Germans, like that's it. You know, Americans are like a third now. Americans, like the new American cars are pretty fucking good. Like, have you seen those new Cadillacs that look like spaceships?
Yes.
CTSVs. They're fucking beautiful, man. I mean, they finally nailed it. Like I drove one of those Escalades. I rented an Escalade. It's amazing. The new one is fucking fantastic. It is a great car. It handles like a much smaller car. I mean, it's an enormous SUV, but they have this magnetic control suspension, and it handles like an S-Class Mercedes. It's incredible. The entire dashboard is a screen. Like the dashboard is like a laptop.
Really?
Like there's no real gauges. Like it's a laptop screen. It's an LCD screen.
That
Very
seems like
nice.
also a bad idea in
No,
some
it's
ways,
great.
doesn't
Yes,
it?
it is. You know what else is great? The navigation system is fucking huge. So you get this huge screen that's your all your gauges, your gauge cluster. It's all LCDs, and then to the right, the navigation screen's fucking massive.
How much does that start off at?
They're expensive.
And if it's really daylight, can you not see? Or are you like,
no, it goes dim.
Fast
It goes dim. It has a light sensor in it, so it turns dark. It turns black when it's at nighttime, and it turns white when it's at daytime.
I just thought,
that's what it looks like.
Look
at that. See that LCD cluster there? That is all one big screen. Like all that shit you see where it's two gauges. It's not really two gauges. That's all one flat screen. And so is the thing to the right, the navigation screen. I was very impressed.
Why is there a face right there?
That's someone's tits. I would. I don't know. It's probably someone calling you or something.
Oh, that's
I would
cool.
totally buy one of those. I have the Lexus, that big Lexus SUV, which I love. But I would definitely buy one of these Cadillacs.
You know, so funny the technology. Like I have 2 German cars, but I don't have navigation in them.
What?
But well, I have a 2013 Mercedes.
No navigation.
But I have, you know what's funny? I have a Garmin or whatever. But you could tell it's getting old. This isn't a bit. This is true, but it will be a bit as of this weekend. When she talks to me, she's breaking up. It's like she's getting old and dying. The voice in my Garmin, like she'll go, make a turn at exit, and then it'll stop, and she'll stop talking, and then it'll pick up again. And I feel like the whole thing is she's dying. Whoever the lady is, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's so outdated.
Right.
That the fucking you could feel I have to put it to rest and get a car with navigation.
You know what the
in
problem is? All of them can't fuck with this.
Yeah.
This is the best. When I Google something, I want to know what it is, and then it says directions, and I press directions, and it goes Bluetooth through my stereo.
Oh, Waze, man, with the police, like you know when the police are up ahead.
Do you know that police are using Waze and they're faking police stops?
Yeah,
they're calling in fake ones to Waze just to fuck with the whole system.
Yeah.
Well, Bonnie uses. I haven't used this yet because it eats up a lot of data, doesn't it? When you,
I guess so.
I don't know. It doesn't.
Not really.
Well.
What are you worried about your data?
Yeah, just switch to
Are
T-Mobile.
they cutting on your prices down to Ventura?
Well, let me
They're fucking with
explain
you?
something to you, okay? I have 3 fucking kids that are 2 of them else are on my phone. Okay, I have two older daughters that I have to cut loose.
How old are they?
24 and 22.
They're still on your plan?
Yes, yes. Yeah, I know. Cut them loose.
Get a fucking job, kid.
No, my daughter, 22 years old, just moved to Houston, called me last week. 22. I just got hired, starting at $50,000 a year. Wow. That's pretty fucking good for a 22-year-old, isn't it? In Houston, in New York.
What does she do for a living?
Huh? She's a buyer for she's a buyer for like clothing.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and my other daughter graduated. I got good kids.
For 22. That's a great gig.
That's fucking a real
that's very
good gig.
That's very good.
Yeah.
She must be talented.
I'll put her on my family plan. Give me her number.
Yeah, yeah. I'd rather give her number to Farrakhan than give it to you. Okay. So,
but no, seriously, if you're concerned about data, as an example, I just switched over to T-Mobile. $50 or $100 a month, you could have up to 5 phones and unlimited everything, data, everything, and you could have up to 5 phones on it. So.
That's pretty amazing.
On what, T-Mobile?
T-Mobile, and it's got the best network. At least in Los Angeles, it's the best network.
I'm on
way better than Verizon.
Better than Verizon as far as phone calls.
I've had both Verizon, AT&T, and Sprint compared to T-Mobile in the last like 6 months, and Verizon actually was the worst where I lived in Los Angeles. And then
it might just be where you live, and that's important. You know, where you got to find out where you live. Like I used to live in a spot where I could only use AT&T. Like AT&T was the only thing that worked in my house.
Comedy Store, Verizon was almost 0 bars, but on T-Mobile, it's like 30 upload.
Well, that doesn't make any sense because I use the Verizon at the Comedy Store all the time, and it works perfect.
Yeah, I'll do a speed test with you tonight or tomorrow.
What, a download test?
Download and upload. It's amazing.
Maybe that, but as far as like phone calls, which all I use it for, other than like occasionally I do Periscope from there, which I like doing now.
It's fun.
Yeah, but this phone, I bought this iPhone 6. I bought it through Verizon.
You just take that phone in, they'll buy it from you. They'll pay your contract charge.
They'll pay me off. They'll get me, because once you're, you know, I mean, I'm fucking locked in with Verizon.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? This is some gangster shit they're doing.
They'll pay all the contracts and everything
just to get you out of it.
Yep.
Just to get you.
They're losing money like crazy, but they're just this new president that T-Mobile has. He's an amazing guy, and dude, I've made fun of T-Mobile my whole entire life. It was the best switch I've ever made.
Wait, now you're saying it's unlimited data,
unlimited everything.
How long before they have it where it's like in China? In China, you could be in the middle of the forest and you get 5 bars. They say that it's unbelievable. Like they have the best cell phone signals.
Is that
everywhere.
5G?
I don't know what they have.
5G is about to come out.
Is it really?
Yeah.
When is that coming out?
Next 3 years, I think is what they're saying.
What is that going to be like?
Crazy fast. Like, yeah, super
instant movies.
Fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
HD, 4K.
Like as you're taking off, you go, oh, I need this movie. And before it hits the air, you have the movie.
That's awesome.
I love this phone when it comes to download. I love this phone.
It's a great phone. The top end phones now, like the Samsung, the Galaxy S6, and the iPhone 6, you know, they're amazing. It's hard to complain.
Fucking Skyping with my kids, and it's amazing. It's just amazing, this stuff.
What is that?
10 gigabytes per second. So 10 gigs.
My God, that's insane! Oh my God, fast enough to deliver a full-length HD movie on your phone in a matter of seconds.
10 times faster than Google Fiber and 40 times faster than 4G.
That is fucking incredible. 10 times faster than Google Fiber is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We're probably going to wind up doing the podcast through that.
Oh, yeah.
Once it's up, we'll probably wind up doing that.
And when you start using that, thank the Jews.
The Jews. Yeah. I guarantee it's like a Korean dude who created that. Let's find out. Jamie, get on it. Nokia. Yep. Korea. No, that's like Sweden, isn't it?
Nokia.
Nokia is European. Might be Jews.
The ringtone sounds Jewish.
Might be the Jews.
Nokia.
Might be the Jews if it's Nokia. Yeah. I think Nokia is a European company.
Oh, man. What is Nokia?
Find out. I'm pretty sure.
What is Nokia?
But Nokia sounds Japanese.
It's a Finnish.
Finnish. Sounds Japanese though, right? Nokia. Hi.
Nokia. Yeah.
Finnish.
Whatever Finnish is.
From Finland. No Jews in Finland. They run from Finland.
You don't think they bring them in?
They're all Vikings.
Do you fucking watch the Americans? The Russians. They kidnap.
Everything Voss is like, didn't you see Trading Places? Don't you watch the Americans?
Okay. You'll learn. I'm telling you.
You learn from the TV box. That's how it works. Yeah. It's a fucking rapid ascension to grace, or whatever it is.
Here's my
rapid discrimination.
Here's what Joe Rogan started, and he didn't even know he started this. We're doing our podcast, Bonnie and I don't know if we got a tweet or a message at Rogan, and we look up, we respect you, we like you, we think you're great, and you know we're big fans. And we were no, that's the but is what you did, and there's no reason for us to even worry about this. But when we heard Rogan in a tweet saying, Tom and Christine are the funniest comedy couple on the planet, and Bonnie and I were a little hurt, so we had to do some research, and we said, and that's okay because they could be. I don't know them from Adam. I've never met them. I hear his name and her name. I never heard them. I never heard their podcast. But Bonnie and I, we put it out there. If you listen to our podcast, it's a long thing. You know, Tom and Christine cease and desist. You know, stop. We were the first, but then we looked into it. They did their podcast before ours. But we challenge any comedy couple to tennis. You know,
that's not comedy though. I didn't say they were the best tennis comedy couple.
Well, I mean, I don't believe in competing.
How about wrestle them?
No,
How
tennis.
About let's have an oil wrestle match?
Tennis, you know, and we said, you know, we will play them in tennis.
Who's better at Monopoly?
Roast battle.
You know, I was the other. Oh yeah,
there we go. Double team roast battle.
I don't even know them, but I'm going to tell you right now, they don't want to get involved in a roast battle with Rich Voss and Bonnie McFarlane. That's what I'm saying. Because I'll do it in their house.
It would. Look, you are a very funny comic, and so is Bonnie, and so are they. I haven't seen Bonnie do stand up in a long time, but Bonnie is fucking hilarious. She's a very funny comic. And your movie that you did, we should plug that movie because it's fucking awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Women Aren't Funny. It's great. It's fucking great. It's really great. And you can get it on iTunes. It's out there right now. And you should get it to support it because Bonnie edited that whole fucking thing herself.
She directed it.
She directed it and edited it. She's a monster. I mean, she knocked it out of the park. But I'm around Tom and Christina on a regular basis. If I was around you guys, I'd probably maybe say the same thing about you guys. But I'm around them all the time. I'm telling you, Christina Pazitsky murdered at the Comedy Store last week so hard. It was painful to watch. It wasn't last week because last week I was in Vegas, so it had to be the weekend before. She fucking destroyed. I mean, leveled the place. And she said afterwards, like, she goes, I'm finally starting to like get this room. 'Cause she had a late spot, you know, and you know it's a long show. She actually went on after me. I brought her up. She fucking murdered, dude. She's really good. Really good.
I'm not saying stand up. I've never seen. I've heard nothing good about it.
That's all I've said.
I've not. What you're saying, but I'm talking podcast. Has he ever made her cry and walk off the podcast?
No, they have a really good relationship. It's very different than yours.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Has she ever blown him on their podcast?
Probably.
I don't know. Maybe. Has Bonnie blown you while you guys were doing a podcast? Of
course. Yes, we'll do anything for hits. Yes. Yes. That's what we're about.
Did you get hard or only like 3/4?
I never. You know what's the worst? When you're fucking jerking off and you're not really hard and you come and you're going, how the fuck did I come and I'm not even hard?
Yeah.
That's getting old.
It's also just disinterested because I did it once when I was 23.
My fucking Bonnie says. Bonnie says, that's funny. When I was 20, that's fucking funny. Bonnie says every year she gives me 1 extra second. This is so funny. I could do anything with a girl so I'm up to 9 seconds. We've been married 9 years, right?
Right.
So I have 9 seconds where I can do anything I want with a girl for 9 seconds.
So you can fuck a girl for 9 seconds.
Anything I want.
Are you gonna hang on for 20?
9 seconds.
20-year anniversary.
Okay. Yeah.
Get a full 20 seconds.
The other day she blew me. And I came so quick, and she said, I'm starting to rethink that whole 9-second thing.
Isn't it funny that if a girl just puts your dick in her mouth, that's not as bad as if you come? You know, like if you come, then it's like you finalize the agreement.
Yes.
You know, you've signed the mortgage papers.
It's great. It's a human car wash for your dick. Not only does it feel good, you're getting your dick cleaned as she's blowing you with her fucking mouth.
That's one way to look at it. But what I was saying is, it's weird that she's concerned not just that a girl's blowing you, because a girl is still blowing you for the 9 seconds, but that you came. Like, that's the issue, that you come.
Yeah.
Like, if you didn't come, it wouldn't be as bad. Like, if a girl blows you for 9 seconds, time's up. Oh, I was so close.
Yeah.
Like, that's better.
Well, but
if a girl sucks your dick and you're like, Yahoo!
Well, here's what I would do. If I ever use this 9-second rule, obviously I would jerk off until the point And I go, now do it.
Right.
Now do it for 9 seconds, and then I'd fucking explode.
But you had a lot of pressure. I mean, you might not.
There's no pressure for me when it comes to coming. There's none. I'm gonna fucking bust the. I am the most disappointing person when it comes to sex. I am fucking the worst.
I bet there's a lot of dudes out there that are up in arms right now. They'll tell you they're more disappointed than you.
No, because when you get, you don't do it for so long when you're married. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. We'd rather, do you want to do it? Let's get a snack, whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just not. We don't love each other. Just what the fuck. So then it builds up. The fucking build up. And then I just go, tell me one dumb story of you fucking a professor or anything, and then I boom.
What do you think? What do you think you're going to use your 9 seconds on? If you got to pick the girl, are you going to go like old and black? Or are you going to go young and red?
He's got to be uncut.
Uncut?
No, I mean cut.
Ethiopian.
Got to be cut.
A bushman. Leaves over his dick.
I would not
put the spear down and suck it.
Like the best way for fucking for me, and I don't know how I got this, is from behind.
That's your best way?
Yeah, well, you don't come as quick. You don't have to look at the person. It's just, it's kind of like, it's a good.
More animalistic?
Yeah, it's more
less
fucking, it's more control.
You can imagine it's a guy.
Huh?
You can imagine it's a guy.
Nah, let's not get crazy. I'm not Norton. So, whatever. So the whole time, we hear this thing that you say about Tom and Christiane. We don't know them. We see
so you
their
want to play
name.
tennis against them?
Well, now I'm starting to think about this roast battle. I'm kind of liking that other idea, the roast battle.
It'd be great, double team.
It'd
be great as long as you can pick the judges.
Yeah.
So, roast battle, it's very dependent upon judges. You got to make sure you get actual comics as judges.
Not
some friend of someone that sneaks on or someone that's grandfathered in. You got to make sure you get good. That's a big part of roast battle. You got to make sure you get good judges.
Yeah, no, I went the other night to the store and Jeff goes, "You want to help?" Judge?
Jeff's perfect at it.
Yeah.
It's a goddamn great show. When they do that roast battle, when those guys jump up, when someone nails somebody, those guys jump up and do their dances, and oh my God.
It was funny.
They had a suicide bomb once where the guy run up, he had a vest on, pressed a button, some things flew up, they got confetti that flies through the air. I mean, they do some wild shit. It's a great goddamn show.
It's a good idea. It's very funny.
But they've had people write articles about it, like negative articles about it, because they'll say anything. Like, all bets are off. It is the fucking nastiest show in Hollywood. But that's what you know going in. It is fiction, okay? And part of comedy sometimes is saying really low, fucked up, racist, homophobic, sexist shit, and including men, whites to blacks, blacks to whites, women to men. It's the most hurtful, cutting shit you can say, and everybody knows what you're doing. Everybody knows that's the jokes. That's how roasts are set up.
And they even had the racist guy in the corner.
Yes, they have a white table. But he's, that's what's his name? Earl.
He's got a beard.
Earl's last name?
Whitney Rice.
Hilarious comics.
This guy is
and they're playing characters. They're playing racist characters. But people have complained about it and wrote blogs about it. We should find who those fucking people are and ban them from every comedy club in the country. Yeah. Fuck you.
How can you not get it? How can you not get it?
Well, how can you pretend that what that is that these are real statements or
look at the Comedy Central roast. Some of the most vile things are said, but just because it's Comedy Central, they can get away. And I'm for it.
Comedy Central roast, take that, multiply it by 5, and that's roast battle.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
The next one's going to be amazing. It's Kimberly Condom versus PDC.
Pete's going down. Pete's in deep trouble.
Kim's 4-0, and I think Pete might be 1-5 or something. Pete's a monster.
Pete's
when it comes to that.
1-5 means he won one time and lost 5 times.
5-1, I mean.
Yes.
That's a numbers game.
Not a good statistic.
People don't understand sports. Giving out quotes like, wait, what?
Put it all on the team that's won. The two guys the other night, they both were, I think, 4-0. That's the first time I ever went to it. One was Indian and one was some sloth. But
sloth?
I mean, just big
fat guy.
But he was funny. They had some great lines. Were you there?
I watched it on Periscope.
Yeah, they had some good fucking lines.
Yeah, it's a joke writing thing. I mean, that's really what it is. It's a great show, though. It's perfect length. It's like an hour long. It's amazing.
it was a lot of fun hanging
The
there.
Comedy
just
Store is on fire right now. Last night, okay? Last night there was 2 shows, 2 sold-out shows in the fucking belly room. We do this, we just started doing this. Nick Youssef and I started doing this new material show. When you go up there, you have to do all your new shit. Like, you can't do any established jokes. If you've done a bit more than, like, I think we came up with a number, like 5 to 7 times. It's like, after that amount, like, it's over. Like, you can't do it anymore. It's not new, you know? And we had all these comics go up, did that. That was sold out. Then there was a $1 show, $1 to get in, and it was like a doorman. All the doormen put together. That was sold out too. Dalia did that show. Then I go over to the main room, and Bill Burr, Madrigal, Burt Kreischer. I went up there. That was sold out too.
That was last night.
Yeah, that was packed.
I was
and
gonna
then
go there.
at the same time, the OR's got a show at the same fucking time, and that's packed. It was madness.
That's how that place
crazy.
should have been for the last 20 years.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, it is
you
now.
walked in
But
last
why-
night, it was just magical.
Why
got rid
is
of the
it
shit manager.
Why is it?
They
now-
got rid of the shit manager and exploded. It had just flourished.
But how does a manager
Because he was
completely?
deaf. He
Yeah.
was deaf. He was just AIDS. He was Ebola. He was all the above. He was a shit sandwich served to you on a dog dick platter. It was the worst. Everybody avoided the guy. I mean, that was what Kreischer was there last night for the first time in 10 years.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm never there because of that guy.
Yeah.
The guy who used to be the manager. You know, and now, you know, they got Eric and they've got Adam from the Tempe Improv, and it's fucking fantastic.
Next Wednesday, I got Dane Cook on a show, which is crazy because Dane grew up at like the Laugh Factory and never went to the Comedy Store.
It's even more crazy that you got him on. There's a lot of crazy things in this world.
Last night he was on it. I went out at the Improv. That place was packed.
Hopping. Comedy right now, we were talking about this, that comedy is probably right now in the golden age. I think this is the golden age of stand-up comedy. You know, I mean, last night at the fucking store, that show that they did in the main room between Madrigal and Kreischer and Bill Burr was hosting it. I mean, it's a monster fucking show. And I'm thinking about this. I'm like, look at how many great comics there are today. It's amazing. It's such a great time to watch comedy, you know? It's an amazing time.
It is. There's so many good, great comics. That,
And it's New York and L.A. are like the 2 hubs. That's like the big epicenters.
Yeah, I mean, you go in New York and there'll be a lineup, and you're like, whoa, you know what I mean?
Like you look at the stand.
Yeah.
I looked at the stand lineup. It was DePaulo and Ari and a bunch of other fucking killers.
Yeah,
it's like you're getting this like in these 2 places especially, and other states can do it. You know, like Boston, of course, used to have it. Doesn't really have it anymore, but it could come back.
Well, Boston used to be fucking when they had all those Rogerson and Tingle and
monsters,
Gavin and Lenny and you know what's his name, Kevin Knox.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
monsters.
it was just
Barry Crimmins,
fucking
monsters,
murder row.
Steve Sweeney, monsters. Don Gavin, monsters.
I've never seen somebody kill like I've seen Gavin and Sweeney kill back then, or Rogerson back then.
People don't know. They weren't there back then. Those guys, man, they existed in a bubble, and they never left. They never left town. And because they never left town, they fucked themselves. They never developed a draw on the road. You got to go to a place, and you got to go to a place once, and then you got to come. Then people go, oh, Rich Voss is back. And then again, and it takes fucking years to develop a crowd. You know?
Also, too, those guys in Boston made so much fucking money they didn't have to leave, too.
Also, they got paid in coke.
I was doing coke back when I used to go up there.
That was part of the problem.
There was a lot of coke up there. There was a lot of fucking coke back there.
It's hard to get paid in coke in Oregon. Like, what am I doing here with this check?
I did a fucking, I did a show at a one-nighter in Scranton. It was me and Sandler. He was middling, and it was a one-nighter, and the owner took us in the back, and, you know, I guess he was getting 70, and then maybe I was getting 90 or 68, whatever.
Right.
So the owner pulls out this fucking, and says, you guys want you want coke and share your money? And Adam said no. I said, oh, fuck yeah, right? I probably got $2.5 grand. I got double
the money,
the money in coke. At least because
did you go sell the coke or did you just do it?
Did I sell it? I had intentions to sell it. I had intentions to sell it. Yes, like all the other times, I had big bags of coke.
Did you ever cut coke? Did you ever take coke and cut it with like?
Yeah, I had when there was time. Oh man, this is fun. I'll tell you the story. This dude came up from Florida, a friend of ours, and he brought 3 ounces. I'm talking fucking some of the best coke ever.
How big is an ounce of Coke?
It's 28 grams.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean, what is it?
I guess
16
it's
grams, by the way. Isn't
no,
it?
it's 28.
30? 16? 16 ounces a pound. How many ounces is 20? How many?
28 grams is an ounce.
28 grams is an ounce.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I said 28.
What's 21 grams is that movie where they say the soul weighs 21 grams?
Okay, I might make a mistake on words. You don't know grams.
I don't know.
So,
I don't
okay.
know. Metric system,
All right.
millimeter. You can tell me.
Okay,
centimeter. What is it? Okay.
So it's 20.
So I mean, I meant, what does it look like? Like, what is it?
I guess
Ball's
maybe
like
this much.
This, so it's like two of those, right?
An 8 ball's that much Coke?
No, I don't know. It's like a bag. You know.
What are
it's
you doing? In between your fingers?
Yeah, like this
Oh,
right
okay.
here.
Oh, that much?
Yeah.
That's a lot. That seems like a lot.
Yeah, it's like an 8-ball, right?
What are you talking about? 28?
An 8
An
ball.
ounce or an 8 ball?
8-ball.
Okay, what's an 8 ball? What does it
it's
stand for?
It's 3.5 grams.
Oh, wait. No, I thought it was
3.5 grams.
What are you showing us, Jamie?
Ounce of Coke.
Which one's an ounce? I need a point of reference.
Right there. No, that's not. That's a quarter.
What is
that's
that thing on the
pound.
scale? What does it say on the
that's
scale?
not an ounce.
The far right? Far right? What does that say?
It's-
2 ounces.
2 ounces. Oh,
Okay, so anyhow.
Oh, there we go.
So do I? You asked if I could go.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's amazing.
Oh, God.
So you had 2 ounces of Coke?
No, my friend came up
sweating?
with 3 ounces
3
to sell.
ounces.
3 ounces of 2 or 3 ounces. I mean, fucking as good as you can get.
Okay.
And my
Pure.
mother was gone for the weekend. Somehow we were in my building, and we're selling Coke like it's crazy, right? And I'm smoking it, you know, just fucking freebasing and cooking and so. He fell asleep. And I can tell you a couple stories. I'll tell you two. I'll tell you 2 other ones are funny. He fell asleep, and I took his fucking Coke.
I like how you did it, like it's in his hand.
No, I pulled it out from under where he had, and I took, you know, 3.5, an eighth out, and I put an eighth of lactose in, which you can't even tell the difference. This Coke was so strong, and you know, I took like 3.5 grams of his. But here's the 2 funny stories. One time, my friend said, get me an eighth of Coke, 3.5 grams, and stick it under my door, and you could have a half a gram, whatever. So I left 3 grams under his door. Well, I did it. I went back, smoked my half a gram. I said, you know, I went back to his place, and I took a hanger, and I pulled it back out. I made about 5 trips there.
Oh, my God.
Till there was no fucking
So
Coke.
at the end, it was just lactose.
Okay, so now,
Jesus.
no, so now here's another story. This fucking guy, John, I was on the road doing comedy. He hasn't seen me. He goes, look, man, I haven't seen you in a while. I'm gonna buy an eighth of Coke. Okay, so that's 3.5 grams. It cost him $250, right? He goes, we're gonna do a gram, which leaves 2.5 grams left. That he'll sell for 100, 150. But he actually cut it in 5 half grams that'll sell 50. 5 half grams to get his 250 back, and we have a gram that we'll smoke together. He goes, I haven't seen you. I'll smoke. So we smoked a gram. There's 2.5 grams left that he's going to sell to get his money back. He falls asleep. Okay? I don't know how I found out where he hid it. So I would go in his where he hid it and take a half a gram out. Then I would drive to the store and buy ammonia.
No.
Is it no? What is it? Ammonia or pneumonia? I don't want to fuck this up. Ammonia.
Yeah.
And it had to be clear, and I would cook it. There's a way to cook it. So I go there, I buy a bottle, come back, cook a half a gram, smoke it, pour out all the ammonia. Right, and I'm not fucking. Now
I don't
I'm
understand.
drinking.
What do you do with
made
the
crack.
ammonia?
He made
You
crack.
can make crack. You can make freebase with ammonia.
Right.
So I took the first half a gram, right?
Sordid business.
His first half a gram. I went to the store, bought the ammonia, cooked a half a gram, poured the ammonia out,
Right.
so I wouldn't steal any more,
Right.
and fucking smoked it. I go, I can't stop. Okay, fucking, I'm back up. I made 5 trips to the convenience store buying ammonia, and I'm so fucking whacked out and fucked up. And the guy's going, why does this guy keep coming in every hour? But I go, look, I got a cleaning business, right? And we just use a lot of ammonia. So
That's
all of a sudden
insane.
he wakes up and I hear now I'm no Coke left. I'm drinking pure straight vodka to try, and all I hear is a big fuck, him yelling upstairs. Where's my? He came down. Where's my coke? I go, look, don't worry. I sold it for you while you were sleeping on credit to this guy. I stole it. I paid him back, but I just stole it. I was a scumbag. I was a drug addict.
That's a lot of cocaine.
And you were doing the vodka to calm your body down because you're all whacked out?
I was so I had a just and there was nothing worse than when sun up, I'm walking home all fucking coming down, knowing I have no money, nothing. It was the worst fucking it was the worst life on the planet. It was such a bad life, you know, and then the running would, you know, into New York. And
what is it? What does it feel like that you have to drink vodka? Like what is like you're just trying to calm your body down?
You're just gonna explode.
It's like being really high on caffeine, and then alcohol kind of takes you down a few notches. Like
Yeah.
it like slows you down. It counteracts it.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. You never snorted coke? You never did coke in your life?
No.
Get out of here. Really?
No, never did it.
Oh, wow. Have you done coke?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So
I saw way too many people when I
Get
was
fucked up.
young
Yeah.
just lose their shit.
Did you you ever smoke it?
Uh-huh.
So you know
Yeah.
how fucking the rush. And you and the problem is, and it's not, I'm not glorifying it.
Smoking it gives you more of a rush?
Kidding me?
I did not
It's
like
not a-
smoking it. It just, that's where you just like, heart pounding.
It's
you
just a
feel
complete,
like cracked out.
it's a rush that you'll never, ever. The first one, you won't repeat it till maybe a day later. So you keep trying to chase that first hit.
My friend Johnny, this is back when I lived in New York, it was the real Times Square. Like, Times Square was a real thing. Like, you'd go to Times Square, there was peep booths, it was dirty, it was a dangerous spot. He would smoke crack, and he'd go to Times Square, and he'd go to those peep booths, and he would beat off in these peep booths, like, forever. And he goes, you didn't even come. You just kept playing with yourself. Like, you just kept watching porn and watching girls, like, finger themselves in front of me. And I go, what'd they look like? He goes, oh, they were fucking disgusting. It didn't matter. It was just that it was deviant. You were just doing, it's like, for whatever reason, the smoking crack made him just want to do dirty shit. Just be a dirty, naughty person, you know?
I was smoking so much one night, my dick shriveled up so much I couldn't. And I looked at my pants, and I was so fucked. I couldn't. I thought it went into my body. I thought I lost it completely, like it just sucked into my body. And I'm going.
Your dick shrinks when you do coke?
Yeah, when you do coke, and it's wrong. I go like I was so fucked up. I go, is it? Oh, I'll deal with it later. I'm going to get high, right? I thought my fucking dick was him. We used to go to this fucking people. It was funny one night. God, I think we've told the story on O&A, but like in Philly, there was these fucking peep booths on the way home from Philly, and you'd go in and you would pay a girl to watch you jerk off.
Right. And she would, like, move
Just
around
watch
for
it.
you or something?
No, couldn't touch you, but she watched. Maybe go, ooh, you know, but you got to do it in front of somebody. So we were, it was fucking great.
What a deal.
So we went.
You want that? Don't look at it. Get out of here.
Are you
tell a
kidding me?
friend.
It's so exciting. So one time, I mean, Norton and all of us used to go, but one time it was me, Levy, and Florentine. So Florentine's
Bob
in the
Levy,
booth.
Jim Florentine.
Yeah, Bob's, Florentine's in the booth first, in one of the booths. And all of a sudden, I swear to God, you hear over the loudspeaker, mop to booth 4, right? To fucking clean up his jizz. And then
And you find out your buddies in booth 4, and you hear that, you're like, oh, no.
So then fucking Levy. Now, there's curtains on the door. You know, there's a shade, but there's this much space. So Levy's in the room, and we can see the shadow of a fucking hand flying back and forth, right? We can see the shadow of his hand jerking himself off on the fucking floor under the shade, and this hand was moving fucking fast. I've never seen somebody jerk off that fucking fast.
How many times have you seen guys jerk off? Do you have like a whole thing?
No.
You're like, in my database of men jerking off.
It's mostly
over
slow.
a lifetime of observing.
Yeah, well, you know, as a judge.
I'm a study.
And then one time we went in there to meet Norton, and I got kicked out because I was trying to negotiate with a girl. I go, look, what the fuck? Just take $15. What the fuck? You know, you don't have to do nothing but sit and watch.
What were they supposed to take?
I like 25, and that was a lot of money back then after these one-nighters. I go, take 15, and I got kicked out of the people.
For negotiating.
Well, sometimes I got them down, but I got kicked out, and fucking Norton walks out the car and goes, how could you possibly get kicked out of a peep booth? How could you get kicked out of how fucked up is your life that you got kicked out of a peep booth?
And Norton was totally sober back then. Like
we all were.
Well, Norton was, he only did drugs till he was like 18 or something like that.
Yeah.
He got sober like really young.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Think about it. Like you realize at 18, like I can't do this.
I can't do this anymore. Yeah, he was fucked up. Did you ever hear the Central Park story with me and Norton?
No.
Oh, this is a classic.
You threw your head to the side. Here we go.
Let me tell this story.
Let me crack my fingers. Okay.
We're coming out of somewhere, maybe a 12-step meeting or whatever, you know. And there's a hot black chick walks by and recognizes me and I wasn't even maybe from a club. Maybe I did one TV show or two in my life. So I said to her, do you want to go out for bagels? We're going for bagels. She said, okay. So we went and had bagels. Then we said, hey, we're going to go uptown to the Pete Booth, you know, on like 54th,
Classy
whatever.
Broad.
Look, I'm not trying to judge.
Was she a prostitute?
I'm not fucking judging people. We're not here to judge.
But I mean, did you know she was a prostitute?
No, she wasn't a prostitute.
So, but you invited her to a Pete Booth.
Yeah, we are. She's already likes us. We're gonna go and look. Hey, she already got a fucking free bagel.
Okay, so you're not thinking this is going to be your girlfriend someday?
No. But you got it. So
okay.
It's hilarious. So we go. Hey, we were planning on it. You know, we're going up there anyhow. So we go up to the quarter moot, the people, and she comes into a booth with me. But we get kicked out. The fucking Indian get out. You know, no couple.
No couples?
No couples in the booth. In those quarter booths. You can't bring somebody in. So now, this is no fucking lie. I'm not lying. We're standing right across from the Ed Sullivan Theater. Right? And there's like a newspaper kiosk, and we're leaning on a car, and I'm making out with her, and I'm fingering her on Broadway. So she fucking, and Norton's just grabbing her ass like a little fucking, like it's a toy. He's playing with her ass, right? So I think, and she comes, right? She has an orgasm standing on Broadway from me. So then we get in the car, we go, hey,
allegedly has an orgasm.
Who does?
Allegedly.
No, she had an orgasm.
You could tell.
You could feel it.
Huh? Well, she didn't piss on my finger.
But
you could tell when a girl has it. She wasn't faking it. She wasn't in a rush.
Okay.
So it was she had an orgasm. I'm not saying it was the best one.
She might have just been tired of you fingering her.
No, my stubby little fingers know what they're doing. Okay, but you're being Nicky negative. This is a good.
No, I'm just trying to get a real clear picture of what actually happened.
Okay, it couldn't be any clearer than what I said.
With her ass, you're fingering her.
That must have looked like a sight, also. By the way, just like you with your back, and then her in the middle, and then Norton grabbing the butt.
But Norton will confirm all of it.
Okay.
So then we go. Let's take a ride up to Central Park. We're walking through Central Park, and then she's blowing me, right? She's blowing me, and then I look down and I see Norton eating her ass, right? But it's like a little kid in candy, right? And I'm trying not to crack up because I'm getting fucking blown. You don't want to fucking laugh as you're getting blown,
right?
But this has got to feel good for her. She's getting her ass eaten,
right?
And now I'm getting blown. So I shoot a load. We get back in the car, and we're driving. And I go to Norton. You have a good time? He goes, well, it was a little uncomfortable. I got my pants dirty. I go, you'll fucking eat out a strange girl's ass, but you're worried about getting your fucking pants dirty? What, are you going to get home and your mom's going to say, look at these grass stains? Were you eating out ass again, Norton? Like, he was upset that he got grass stains on his pants as he was eating his fucking strange girl's ass.
That's so hilarious. That sounds like Norton, too. That's so ridiculous.
I mean, I was obviously single and young. We did some I was dating this girl that was so fucking hot, and we were in the car and she was blowing me, and Norton was walking by. I go, hey, you want to watch? And he goes, yeah. He comes in and he's in the back of the car. He's just fucking, you know, we picked up this fucking.
He starts jerking off
Yes,
while she's blowing you?
Yeah, but I come so quick. He goes, fuck, man, hold off. So
Jesus Christ, you guys are deviants.
So one time we pick up this hottie. It's always me picking. I picked up this girl in front of the Comedy Store. So we're going back to Norton's house, and she's blowing me and whatever, and Norton's jerking off. And next thing you know, I see a load fly and hit Norton in the fucking head from, like, he fucking, as she's blowing me, he jerked off. And I don't know why I get so jerked. Yeah, he hit himself in the head, and I was so fucking impressed that it flew that high and hit himself. And I was like, it was fucking very impressive. Okay.
Oh, God.
He's a creep.
He's a creep. I know. What about you?
I'm just getting blown. I didn't do anything deviant. I didn't do anything wrong.
He's so honest about his perversions. It's hilarious. Has there ever been a guy on the radio that's as honest about his perversions as Norton? I don't even think there's a close second.
No.
No one. Like a regular radio guy that's as honest about being a pervert and trannies and all the crazy shit that Norton does. I mean, that's very unique.
That's, you know, yeah. But I think Opie and Anthony, when they were together, really were good at getting the truth out of all of us, from Colin to fucking Bobby. I mean, we've spilled our guts in
Patrice.
there. Patrice. I mean, really have told stories that, you know, I mean, that are like really fucking deep about our parents and upbringing.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what, you know, people think they know. That's why I hate fucking some of these guys on Twitter. They think they're, just because you're not my friend. Don't ever, you know, so you can't say the things Norton and Bobby and, you know, Patrice and whatever, and Colin could say to me. That's why they think, but because they know so much about our lives.
Right.
But Norton brings it to a whole nother level, like you say. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't, you know what I mean?
You're getting uncomfortable even thinking about it.
Yeah, because it's, you know, look at every.
No, there's nobody like Norton. Norton is a completely unique individual and always has been. You know, always has been. He's found his voice more as a comic, you know, now than ever before. But he's always been this like really unique guy.
Well, I can tell you what he does. I don't watch a lot of comics stand up. I just don't watch a lot. Once in a blue moon, I'll see a little this, a little that. But on radio, there is no one quicker at comebacks than Norton. No, hands down, he is.
He's my favorite all-time radio personality.
Yes, he is. No, he's in. He's in. I know him as a. I'm just saying he's quick as fuck on radio.
He's in a class by himself. He really is.
But that also too, when you're going in there, you know, if Colin's in and Bobby and me, and when Patrice was there, you're walking into the Lion's Den.
Yeah.
You got to be, you know, boom. There's no fucking. I mean, we will.
Gotta be ready to go.
Just tear fucking Patrice. He laid into me. First, he attacked I had a Rolex. Somehow he attacked me having a Rolex. Okay? Because it wasn't a Breitling. It was a Rolex. Where I bought it from. Did I get a deal?
Than a Rolex?
To him, it was. He's, you know, black guys don't, you know, they like those big fucking, you know. Then he attacked me. He attacked me. You know what I'm saying? From asses to watches. So then he attacked me. I was driving at the time a Porsche Boxster, right? A dumb, and he had, I think, an Escalade or whatever, and he was calling me selfish because I'm driving this little car, and he's killing me, and I'm driving home from O&A, and I can't. I'm going, wait, you fucking fat fuck! You're driving an Escalade that's fucking, you know, using all this gas. All this, you know, I'm not just, you're the selfish one because you could not stop eating fucking fruitcakes. And now, and then he's saying how crappy my car is. 2 days later, I'm online looking at the price of a Boxster new against his car new and all the stats. And I fucking email it to him. because he calls me cracking up. It's so, he goes, "You're still thinking about this?" He goes, "You're still thinking about this?" I walked out of the studio and forgot it was radio, but it was
fucked with him. Or he fucked with you, rather.
He fucking ripped me down so hard. And I could, and he was overpowering. Patrice was an overpowering guy. Even if you were right, you couldn't. He just so verbally overpowering.
You know how big he would be today, if he was still alive as a comic.
Oh, he's hands down would be.
He'd be right up there with anybody, with any of the biggest comics in the world today.
As talent wise,
yeah.
He did sabotage a lot because. Or not? No, he didn't. I'm wrong. He didn't. He knew what he wanted. He turned down a lot. He didn't sabotage it.
Like what kind of stuff did he turn down?
Well, I mean, you know, Spike Lee liked him, but I guess the money wasn't right. What he was offered, you know.
For what? For a movie or for?
I don't. To do whatever with Spike. They when Puffy had that show on HBO, whatever. It wasn't Def Jam. It was another black comic thing. They asked him to host it. And he didn't like the deal. He turned it down. When he had VH1, I think he wanted his own billboard in Times Square and some more, you know, whatever. Well, he deserved it, though.
Yeah.
He deserved it.
And they said no, so
I was like, fuck you then. But whatever. He was offered, but he knew what he wanted. He was offered many roasts before he did that Charlie Sheen one. And he was right. He's going, why am I going to do a fucking roast with these comics that aren't in my league and are not my friends?
Yeah, well, he
who are they to talk
while
about?
He was up there.
Yeah.
He was the best at that roast.
Yeah, he's like, who are they going? Who are
was
they?
It Charlie Sheen? Was that the roast he was on?
And Jeselnik and Schumer were on it.
Damn, he murdered it on that roast.
And let me tell you, he went last, and a lot of that was just. That was ad lib. Because I went over a lot of his stuff before we talked. You know what I mean? So I go, and stuff was, and then he started getting mad because they're talking about his diabetes, and he's like, "Who the fuck are they to talk about me like this?"
Right.
You know, and that was his whole mindset before even going into the roast. So they multiplied it by saying shit about him.
Right.
Because he goes, "They're not my fucking friends. They don't." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he clearly stole that roast.
Yeah.
Clearly, hands down. Would have fucking, from there would have been no stopping Patrice. None.
Yeah. So sad. You know, it's so fucked up that some of the funniest guys have all these self-sabotaging traits like bad diet and drugs.
Yeah.
And not taking care of themselves. It's just so fucking sad.
But he was a big, I don't. He wasn't a drug addict. He didn't drink. He didn't do drugs.
Take care of his body. Didn't take care of his diet. I mean, he had fucking diabetes. He didn't take care of it. He died from something that other people haven't died from. I mean, if he just lost weight and ate healthy and started eating vegetables, he could have lowered his blood sugar. He could have dealt with it in a healthy way. But what makes a guy that fucking funny is kind of the same shit, that I don't give a fuck attitude. You can't have that I don't give a fuck attitude and be, you know, drinking green tea instead of eating cheeseburgers. You know, it's just like, it comes with the
your lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. See, there's comics that do comedy from their head, and there's funny guys. He came from, to me, the best comics on the planet are comics that talk from their heart, that talk from within them. You know what I mean? They're not. They didn't figure it out. They lived it or they experienced it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You feel.
Yeah.
So Patrice wasn't. He was brilliant. He had to think of it, but it really came from here. This was how he was in real life. That you know, he didn't go on stage and, hey, let me do my fucking act.
Right.
You know, and a good comic. You know, you take like Louis and Stanhope and Voss. You take guys like that. You throw, you know,
Rich Voss?
Yeah, but he's at Ventura Comedy Club Friday through Sunday.
This weekend?
Friday through Sunday.
California, Ventura, California.
Yep, Ventura Harbor.
Holy shit!
But you see what I'm saying? You take these guys like Stanhope. I think is fucking a genius.
Yeah, me too.
I think he's just at a whole nother level. I read some of his blogs and just the guy.
He's awesome.
His fucking mind. He's at a whole
he's
level.
really living it. You know what I mean? Like Stanhope lives in Bisbee, Arizona, in the middle of fucking nowhere, in a multicolored, like bright orange house, or bright yellow house. He has Super Bowl parties. He invites the world. Literally gives out his address on my podcast and says, "Come to my Super Bowl party." So he has hundreds of people. He has no idea who they are. Fly in to Tucson, then drive to Bisbee and show up at his fucking house, and he lets them inside where he sleeps and eats, and they're all wandering around his house, drinking and smoking, and he doesn't give a fuck. Like there's a lot of guys pretending to not give a fuck.
Yeah.
Stanhope is that guy, you know, wearing those ironic suits, and he's like, I kind of have to stop wearing these because other people like think I'm serious, you know, like people like, and now like wearing ironic clothes has become like ironic suits has become like a thing that people like. It's almost like a hipster thing.
Yeah. I watched him at a show I think he was doing with Norton and Artie Lang in a hotel at Atlantic City. We went down to hang out. I don't know, it could have been a bright yellow fucking blazer.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you would think he was going to introduce acrobats.
Like he's a burlesque MC.
Yeah, or something.
We did the End of the World show, the December 21st, 2012 show at the Wiltern. It was Honey, Joe Diaz, Stanhope, and me. And Stanhope wore this ridiculous suit. It was just ridiculous. It was half of what made it awesome. It was him in his fucking stupid suit.
But his
look at his house. You got a photo of his house? Look at his house. I mean, if anybody wants to visit Doug Stanhope, you can't miss it. Just drive through Bisbee. You'll find it in 5 seconds. You go, oh, there he is.
But what I love about him, he calls his own shots in this business.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
you know what I mean? And he
was one of the first guys to do these promotions where he was like, you know, I'm tired of working at these comedy clubs and they're giving me shit money and I know how much I'm bringing in.
Yeah.
That's his house.
That's his
house.
That's what you would see on the internet that somebody made from an ex-cargo. You know,
he's got pebbles instead of a lawn. But look at all these. This is just a bunch of people. Probably that's like probably a party that he.
That's a fucking
had
great
on
house, though.
Yeah, it's
Probably
cool.
a Super Bowl party.
Yeah, but I mean, he has these Super Bowl parties, and I don't know if all of them are photos. There's other photos where there's even more pictures.
That looks like an ex-storage bin, like one of those things you would
see. Is that
see.
his podcast down there? What is that? Scroll down a little, because he has a podcast now. Is that the studio?
Yeah,
click on it. Let me see that.
Which one?
The one with the podcast.
Oh, this.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Bingo.
Who's that with him?
That's his girl.
No, the other guy.
Oh.
Quinn from Impractical Jokers. So that's his. He's got his own podcast studio now. Good for him. Yeah, and that's all in his wacky house. He's a maniac.
I fucking love the fact that he just like goes into rock, does what he wants to do. I love fucking comedy.
Well, he'll do comedy clubs now because he's undeniable. Now they have to give him the door or whatever the fuck the deal is.
But he doesn't usually do weekends. He'll do a Tuesday, Wednesday in a comedy club.
But if he wants to do a weekend, he'll do a weekend.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where they were trying to tell him what he was worth, and he was like, "Why am I giving you guys anything?
Yeah.
When I can just sell out a rock club." The problem with those rock clubs is we saw him once in L.A. When we went to see him in L.A., you have to stand up.
Yeah,
it was a concrete floor. You're standing, and after like a half hour, I was like, "This is the last. I'm never going to do a standing because I had done a few standing shows. I'm like, I'm never doing one of these ever again."
Well, we saw him in Philly.
Worst.
We went down to watch him in Philly do one of those things, and it's kind of uncomfortable standing.
Standing's bullshit. Standing is bullshit.
I mean, his stuff.
You got to talk into the microphone. That's why you should wear earphones.
Okay, Mr. Microphone for 1 second. You know, look at everybody's not perfect, but I do know how many grams in a fucking ounce. What I'm saying, okay?
Is it 20 or something? 20. What is it? 32? I mean,
you know, the fucking smartest guy.
Ventura? Where is it?
Ventura. But his act, what I've seen of him, he doesn't have to. Like some comics really have to connect with. He's so smart and brilliant. He could do his act laying down on a couch with his head. Do you get what I'm saying? Like he's so smart. I think he's so smart as a person that you could listen to him and you don't have to see him to get what he's saying.
You mean like a comedy album?
Yeah. No. But I'm saying you're saying a comedy club where people are sitting down, so focused.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I do stand up. A lot of times I'll sit and I'll need their attention.
Right.
I'll need, focused.
Right.
But someone like me, I can't. He is just so smart that all you could close your eyes and listen to what he's saying, going, "This is some brilliant shit." That doesn't make sense.
Man, I think he's brilliant. I don't know what you're saying though. You're not really doing a good job of talking.
Well, because you're saying the standing up. He would do better sitting down.
No, that's not what I said at all. I meant when you're in the audience.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable to stand for a long period of time. And I'll never do a standing show where the audience has to stand because they're not comfortable. They don't enjoy it the way you enjoy it if you could sit down and relax.
But you're saying if it's not comfortable, then you're not taking in everything that's being said because you're not comfortable.
No, yeah, I mean, it's just not as good. It's not as good as an experience because discomfort is a part of the experience instead of just being able to, if you're sitting down watching a show, you can just concentrate on the show. But 45, an hour and a half into a show and you're standing for that whole time, your feet start to hurt.
Well, don't do that for a rock band.
Yeah,
but you're dancing around and stuff. Like my legs were locking to the point where I felt like I was almost about to fall over.
Yeah,
because I don't know. Could not move.
Okay, my point was the fucking guy's brilliant.
Oh, he's definitely brilliant. I don't even think he does standing shows anymore.
I don't think he does.
He might, but most people have abandoned them. All it takes is being an audience member once. And you go, oh, well, fuck this. You know, that's why I stopped doing the House of Blues in Vegas. They used to have that fucking standing part on the side. Oh, it's the worst. They have the seated part, which is awesome. And then they have the top seating, awesome. But then they'd have the bar area was filled with people just standing, and it was fucking terrible. It was terrible. It's like they would talk, like you would literally, you would have like, it would like be trying to do stand-up at a nightclub. Like when there's a full-on like bar scene happening, and you know, attention everyone, just like you're, you know, like interrupting conversations instead of. If you go to a comedy club, everybody's seated, the show starts, and that they're there to see a comedy club. There's too much room for variables.
Some comedy clubs are like, I've done some rooms like in casinos, whatever, where the seats are too comfortable, and now they're too fucking relaxed, and you know, those cushion seats, and they're laying back, and they're not.
Yeah, couches are not good for comedy.
No. You can't be too comfortable.
The Ha-Ha has couches in the front, and it's like, this is a little too goddamn casual.
What the fuck is is that
Ha-Ha
in L.A.?
Cafe?
In L.A. here?
It's a North Hollywood, a smaller club.
So you can't be too comfortable, you can't be too uncomfortable.
Yeah. Like I went to, Sturgill Simpson did Conan the other day, and I went to watch, and it's fucking cold as shit in there. They've got that thing going on like Letterman likes to do. Like we used to crank down the temperature like way down, like in the 60s.
Isn't that for the lighting? The light bulbs?
A little bit, but I think the idea behind Letterman was that when you are cold, you have a little bit more energy. You're more likely to laugh than if it's really hot. If it's really hot in the room, people don't laugh as much. Kind of makes sense.
Oh fuck! I'm gonna pass out dry ice this weekend. It's gonna fucking
at the
freeze.
Ventura Harbor Comedy Club in Ventura, California.
Friday through Sunday.
Are you there on Sunday too?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, you say that like you're not happy about that.
Well, I am happy, but here's the problem. Sunday day, I was invited to play golf at Bel Air Comedy Club, Bel Air Country Club. Okay, so I'm gonna drive from Ventura to Bel Air.
That's like 2 hours.
No, how come some people tell me 40 minutes, some team 45?
That's
some
not 40 minutes. They're lying to you.
An hour. It can't be 2 hours from Ventura to what?
You sure
I bet if you look it up on MapQuest.
No. You with traffic.
There's no traffic on Sunday morning at 7 a.m.
You're adorable. You're adorable. You don't know Los Angeles, do you?
7 a.m. There's traffic on Sunday morning.
Easily. If you go to Orange County, you might be stopped dead. You might be stopped dead on the highway at 7 a.m. On the 5, take the 5 Sunday morning. Might be stopped dead.
Okay. But
I'm not lying. This is an overpopulated place.
No, I get that.
Go outside. Look how beautiful it is. It's like that in February.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Perfect weather.
But you look at the distance.
A lot of people find out about it. They move here. They have cars. They drive. They go, you know what? I'm just going to get up 7 o'clock in the morning. Who's going to be up on Sunday morning? Oh, there's only 90 fucking million people live here.
Jesus Christ, you really know how to depress a person. I was looking forward. I was looking forward to my day at Bel Air.
Well, you could do it. You just got to leave early.
Well, I got to be there by like 9, so I'll leave at 7.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah, right now it's an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah,
an hour and 40 minutes
from Bel Air to Ventura, California.
It's an hour and 2 minutes without traffic, which is adorable. Why don't they just say if you fly?
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
So how is that Ventura Harbor? Have you done that before?
I've never done it.
I heard good things.
Yeah.
I heard it's a good gig.
Yeah.
But I've never been there. Have you ever been there?
No,
Ventura?
but some guy contacted me there from there, I think.
But I mean, how come, like, especially you, where you're doing, like, weekend rooms going to San Diego, this and
No,
that
I do
place.
the stand-up Tuesday, Wednesday stuff.
You do what?
Well, you do
stand-up.
weekends, too.
Yeah, but some weekends. But yeah, mostly Tuesday, Wednesdays.
Oh, okay.
I love Santa Barbara. Oh, I love it up there. Just a little bit further north.
That's
It's
where
one of
my
my
wife-
favorite spots.
That's where
When
I got
become
my
an
wife
old man.
pregnant.
When I become like Dennis Miller, become some old conservative man with a radio show.
Go to
Is that where
Salt
he's
Lake.
out of, Santa Barbara?
Yeah, he lives up there with all the white people. It's all white people. They just rally on against Mexicans.
We
Get
fucking.
angry about black people up there.
Why? You could do that anywhere.
Yeah, but you can't do it. I mean, you can't do it exclusively. Or you're preaching to the choir, everyone around you. I mean, this is like zero diversity.
Do you know San Jose is the #1 less amount of black people in the United States of America?
San Jose?
And #2 is San Francisco.
San Francisco is the least amount of black people in the United States?
Yep.
That doesn't make sense. Well, what is Oakland, #1?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's all black people. They all moved to Oakland. They can't afford San Francisco.
Actually, I heard Oakland is now like it's totally different now.
See, I've always thought San Francisco was really diversified.
Yeah, with Asians.
Well, their mindset is diverse. You know, I mean,
Well,
they're
San
open.
Francisco's the real estate is so fucking ridiculous now. The tech boom has fucked that place up so bad. The prices are just, they don't make any sense. Like you'd be an asshole to buy a house in San Francisco now. Unless you've got like Elon Musk money and you don't give a fuck. You'll spend $3 million. I saw a house for $3 million. My jaw dropped. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. This is a $400,000 house. How is this $3 million?
It's a little shithole, right? It's just.
It was a house. It was
Yeah.
a nice house, but it wasn't $3 million. I mean, it didn't make any sense.
Well, I look at these people in New York that fucking get these apartments.
Oh, they're crazy.
That
They're-
are as big as this table.
they're fucking crazy.
I go, are you? All you have to do is move 20 minutes into Jersey.
Yeah.
And you could buy a fucking
Or
house
Brooklyn,
with
or
property.
I looked at house apartments in New York for a bit. There was a time where I was thinking about moving to New York, just like to mix things up,
Yeah.
But it just didn't make any sense. And the one thing that gets me about New York is the sets that you do around town. They're real short. Everyone's doing like 15 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm like, that is not enough. That's not enough time to really get busy.
Yeah, but when
know?
you'd be able to do more time in places. When Rock walks in, he's doing what he wants to do. When, certain comics walk in, Louis or whatever, I'm sure you could do a half an hour. They wouldn't have
I
a
don't
problem.
like to walk in and do that. I want to schedule that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I like doing the Belly Room. When we do those weekends at the Belly Room, I could do 45 minutes in town on a Friday, Saturday night. Like that. Like if you're gonna really hone your act,
Yeah.
I'm not working on one bit. I'm working on 6, 7 bits and trying to put together, like a real hour for my next special. And if I'm doing a 10 or a 15-minute set, there's just not enough time for that. And I don't want to do that whole trek around doing 7, 8 sets a night. I just think that's
No, I wouldn't do
foolishness.
that ever. I do maybe
never
two,
did it.
1 or 2. I never did. I mean, I did it years ago in New York, but I work out my material on the road,
Yeah.
because that's where I work it out in the comedy clubs, because I'm going to have enough good stuff around it. If a
Right.
bit doesn't work, then the next one's gonna.
Well, when I
you
lived
know.
in New York, when we were doing stand-up together, I hardly ever did the city because I could do Connecticut or I could do Long Island or I could do Jersey, and I'd make $150.
Yeah.
I could make like real money and get paid versus if I was in town, you get $25 here, $10 there. It's like, what? I'm not doing 10 sets a night to make $100.
Yeah,
It just
it's-
seems so stupid.
Comics that can't get road work are in the city bouncing from club to club. There's guys that do 7 sets a night. You know what? Get a job on fucking Wall Street because there's no way this old cocksucker's running around town. But luckily, I can work on the road. And like you said, you can work in D.C., Baltimore. These are all driving distance where you could drive home Saturday night.
Right.
I drive
Yeah.
home. Philadelphia, even Boston, is 3.5, 4 hours, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you could make a great living. There's so much around there.
Yeah.
That's when I asked him, like, if, you talked about San Diego, well, how are you not working at this other place if it's only an hour and a half away on a weekend? There was one place I used to work, Rooster Tea Feathers or something, or
Where's that? I heard about that.
Where the fuck is it? Do you know?
That's still around?
Yeah, I think so. But it's Silicon Valley. Where's Silicon Valley?
Yeah. It's the San Francisco area. Yeah.
Is it up? Yeah, it's up in that
way
area.
up there. Yeah.
Oh, that's not driving distance from here then.
Yeah, you could drive, but it's going to be 6+ hours.
Okay, that's too far. But
depending on traffic.
There's, unlike L.A., New York, or Jersey, where I live, you could work fucking almost all year round and make a good living in weekend comedy. You know, doing.
Yeah.
You know.
Are you doing weekday gigs anywhere?
No, we do. No, once in a while, I'll get a private or a fundraiser. You know, like Tuesday night, we'll do our radio show on Sirius, and then we'll do a spot in the city here and there.
Because you do on Tuesday. Sirius is in the city.
Yeah, in the city. In Opie, we do Opie Studio. Me and Bonnie do our radio show from 7 to 9. My wife hates me, the radio show, and so then I'll do a spot after it, maybe at the Cellar to hang out, or whatever. You know, and then Wednesday I probably will stay home because I'm going to leave Thursday, Friday, whatever. You know, so I try to be home Wednesday, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday as much as I can if I got, you know what I mean, to be with my kid, and then I'll leave Sunday. You know, once in a blue moon on Wednesday night, we'll go over to the Stress Factory on open mic night and do some time because it's 20 minutes from our house. So we go, well, we want to work out something. Why go into the city? We just go to the open mic night at the Stress Factory.
How's the crowd at the Stress Factory on those nights?
Some nights it's crowded, you know. Some nights it's tons of comics. But, you know, it's okay. It's 20. We go there. We take our kid on a Wednesday.
Not a lot of clubs in New Jersey, huh? Other than the Stress Factory, that's all you really hear about.
Bananas in wherever, Fort up there.
Where's that? Point Pleasant or something?
Bananas is in Saddlebrook.
There's a Bananas in Poughkeepsie, right? Isn't there?
Yeah, but that's closed.
The other one.
That's closed.
It's closed?
Yeah.
Where was that sushi place we did? Was that Jersey? Remember, it was like an old Chinese restaurant in some reason, and it had a weird stage. Like the stage looked like a town or something. And it was like a restaurant, but they did comedy.
Well, Uncle Vinny's does comedy.
When was this?
5 years ago, it was me, you, Joey Diaz, I think.
What was it?
Jesus.
They had sushi there?
It was like a sushi restaurant, and
it was in New Jersey?
It was either New Jersey or upstate New York. No. You don't remember? And it was like it was a restaurant, and the stage looked like a fake town, like it was a fake house. God. And you came out and it looked like you were on a front porch of a house or something. And it was in the
no, you're wrong. That was Western Massachusetts. That's a Chinese restaurant. That's the Kahuki Lao. That's for the Comedy Connection. That's
okay.
That is. Yeah. Yeah, you would do Friday night in the city, and then you do Friday night in Boston. You do Saturday night out the Huki Lao, or Sunday at the Huki Lao. That was death.
I do a new Jersey there's a place Uncle Vinny's
Chicopee. That's what it was.
Uncle Vinny's, but there's no liquor license. It's bring your own beer or whatever. You know, they can't afford a liquor license, but he gets big acts there.
But you can bring your own booze.
I guess
they show up with a bottle of wine.
Yeah, whatever, wine and
Jack.
Yeah, and he does all. I mean, the Stress Factory obviously is the big club in Jersey. Right. Bananas brings in big acts. You know, they'll open the door. I'm doing one in Boston. It's a great new club in Boston.
Laugh Boston?
Laugh Boston.
I've done that.
I fucking love it.
Great.
The fucking hotel is beautiful. You stay right there.
Right there. Just come on down.
Come down.
Boom.
The people that own it are great.
Yeah, they're great. I did it recently. It's a great gig. Yeah.
What a fucking great gig.
Yeah. You know? I usually do the Wilbur, but it was somebody already had it. It was a last minute thing because there was a UFC in Boston, and I wasn't supposed to work it because it was a Fox Sports 1 gig. I usually do the either pay-per-views or the Fox gigs, the big Fox gigs. But for whatever reason, I wanted to do it, or they wanted me to do it. I forget how it worked. And I had to do the Laugh Boston. I had a great fucking time.
Yeah.
That's
a
the
great
new club, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's really
cool.
good.
And they'll buy you the restaurants surrounding the club. You
Boston
know, whatever you want to
so
eat.
many good clubs. It's so sad to go back and say, but there's a little bit of a scene there now. A little bit of young comics coming up that are trying real hard, that are trying to put together a scene. But it takes decades to put together a scene like they used to have there. It's amazing that it deteriorated the way it did. And a big part of the reason why it deteriorated is guys stopped writing. They stopped writing. Those guys are doing the same act for fucking decades.
Well, no, I bet it was the clubs that didn't last. I mean, Nick's.
Why do you think they didn't last? I mean, there's a part of that was that guys stopped writing.
I guess,
a
yeah,
real
because they were
problem.
using the same guys and
Same guys, same act.
Same
And
act.
it's still fun to watch, but
Yeah, the
if you
people-
knew, if you would go back to see Steve Sweeney every year, you knew he was going to have a new act that's like the one that you saw before. Like I say, if you went out and you could guarantee that you're going to see a half-hour new material from Sweeney and then a half-hour of that old killer stuff that he had, you would love it. But
that's a good point. Yeah, I do blame a lot. You're right.
it was the culture back then because they didn't know. I mean, with the internet, you can't do that. You can't do that anymore. So now everybody's doing the George Carlin method. We try to do a whole new special, you know, between a year and a year and a half, 2 years, depending on, you know, how you feel. Like some guys think that a year's too soon, the material's not good enough, and some guys think, you know, that you waste time developing. You should just move on to the next act.
In 5 minutes, Kathy Griffin will have another hour.
5 minutes.
She puts out an hour every 2 hours.
An hour every 2 hours?
Yes.
She puts out a lot of hours.
She puts out a lot of hours. But she's
it's
not
like
doing
her-
punchline jokes.
Right.
A lot of them are stories.
Stories about her hanging out with Cher.
Yeah, and stuff like
Cher
that.
stopped returning her calls. She'd lose half her act.
Funny. I try to do-
Gypsies, tramps, and thieves. That's what the people of the town they call us.
I try to do a new CD every 2 years. Every 2 years, I try to do a new CD.
Yeah, 2 years is a good time because that means you work on it for a solid year and a half, and then the last 6 months you're just fucking sharpening that sword.
See,
and then by the time it comes around, you're filming, you're sick of it. You don't want to do it anymore.
But see, I add and take out, Like, I know guys, like, I think, like, Chris, I've seen Chris, I think maybe even Louis does it. Like, I'll see Chris go on a stage with a whole, he's trying to do a whole new half or 45 at once, get it all together. You know, I throw in a new bit, drop a bit, throw in a new bit, drop a bit. But some of these fucking guys like Louis and Chris, they could just write an hour like that.
You wrote for Chris. You helped him write when he was doing like some of his specials, right?
No, when he did it on the Oscars, I wrote. His last movie, Top 5, I wrote on that. I helped do Punch Up.
Right.
And Chris is smart. He had a couple.
DePaulo, right?
DePaulo wasn't on the movie. He was on the Oscars.
The Oscars, and he
Fucking,
used to use
he's a
Rich
great
Jenny a lot as well.
When we did the Oscars, fucking Jenny. You know, the problem with a lot of big comics, and you're going, is that they could be. A lot of people aren't honest with them. Everybody, when you get to a certain level, has a lot of that's great, that's yes, no, you could do it, and it's really not to their standard. And when we wrote on the Oscars, Jenny had no problem saying to Chris, "That stinks. Don't do it. It's not right."
Yeah,
and obviously Jenny knew what he was talking about because he was one of the best fucking comics in history.
I talk about him all the time on this show, that he was like the one guy when people talk about some of the all-time greats, he's the one guy that they leave out. I'm like, you didn't see him in the 80s. You missed it. If you saw Jenny in the 80s, early 90s, he's one of the best of all time.
How could you not think this guy, you
had to see him, though, the way we saw him.
He would take a premise and bring it to a whole nother level.
He was the guy, like when people say, like, your jokes, like you take a premise and you squeeze all the juice out of it. Or right when you think you can't get any more out of it, you take it to another place. I learned that watching Jenny. I really did. Because I remember thinking that I was just scratching the surface of these subjects, whereas he understood how to explore all of them.
I'll tell you another one I watch, and when I watch Dom Irrera, I'm going, this is one of the funniest guys alive.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's just a powerhouse.
He's a murderer.
A fucking powerhouse.
He's the best at talking shit. Like, he's one of the best guys ever on Kill Tony. Like, Kill Tony is this podcast that we do, and they'll have, like, new comics. Like, open micers will go up and do 1 minute. And then it'll be, like, Dom Herrera, Tony Hinchcliffe, Brian, maybe me, and different comics. You know, like Russell Peters will sit. All these different comics will sit in on do a guest spot. And Dom Herrera murders these fucking guys. I mean, murders them. He breaks it down. I mean, and it's effortless for him.
Yeah.
You're crying, laughing. I mean, that's... If you guys ever wind up doing that as a television show, you really should have Dom on like permanently.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's the guy.
He
He's
should
the
be
best.
the Patriot.
Yeah, they did that.
No, the Patriot is unnecessary, as is the singer guy.
Yeah.
I think we
It's
did
like-
that in New York. Sherrod had a show at the comic strip where new comics would go on, like 5 of them, and then we'd sit there and judge. But they did like 5 minutes.
Right.
And you don't want to destroy their dreams, but you have to be honest with them.
Right.
You know, because they're just going to have false hope.
Right.
And a lot of comics do have false hope because no one will tell them.
Exactly.
No one will tell them. You know, this is how you do it. When I first started, I mean, I stunk last year, but I really stunk when I started. You don't find your voice till who knows when. You know,
you gotta. It's a lot of. There's a lot of work, and there's a lot of being honest, and there's a lot of listening to yourself, and there's a lot of correction, and everybody doesn't start from the same spot. Some guys start out funnier than you, and you just gotta accept that, and you can't judge yourself by that. You just gotta keep going. Just keep going and keep trying to improve on what you do.
Yeah.
Like when you would, this is what I wanted to ask. When you would write for Chris, like what did the process? What was it like? Did you guys meet in an office? Like how did it work
for the Oscars?
for any of the things you did?
Well, the movie we'd sit on the set, and if you saw him do one thing, and it didn't always have to be funny. You can go, maybe say it that way, or walk in from here, or do it, take your shirt off, or do that. You know
So
what I
just
mean?
had, like,
He just had different eyes
Right,
on him,
right.
Because he was directing besides
acting,
starring,
and writing,
you know, starring and writing. So you know, when he has different you know, he had another comic. His name slipped my mind, and another director, Nelson George, and you know, and his acting coach was on the set too. This was all for Top 5,
Right?
And not every day was I, you know, and you'd see something or you say a line, you know, and when Chris liked it, you could tell he liked it, and if he didn't like it, you go, you know,
Right.
So, and for the Oscars, he pretty much had his own stuff. He kind of knew what he wanted to do for that. But he would say to the comics, and he had like 13 writers. He had, you know, Chef wrote, Apollo, Lance, and his crew, and Stilson was the head, you know, I guess the head writer, Jeff Stilson, you know, me. And, you know, he'd go out to the comedy club. And he goes, well, I'm going to Laugh Factory tonight. Who wants to come? Whoever wants to come, I'll be at. And some of them didn't go, but I went every night to sit and watch, and you know, this is the set he's going to do at the Oscars.
And then you
know,
give notes and
give note. But with the Oscars, we didn't give. I didn't give notes right there. I sent mine in, and I think they went through Stilson, then to him. You know. So, I mean, I'm not going to say, I got 1 or 2 things on, which was great. You know, fucking, I just wrote for the Comedy Central roast for Bieber. And I'm not a writer like that. Bonnie's the right. Bonnie can write. You want something fucking written, you ask Bonnie. She'll fucking write a book. I mean, this bitch knows how to write. I'm not fucking.
Your wife.
Yeah. She knows how to write.
Right.
So, but roast stuff, I can come up with some stuff, you know, and punching up, I'm good at, because I could see from my, you know, just from being a stand-up for 30 years and watching, you know, that there were certain things that Chris goes, yeah, that's right, you know, and the other comic, yeah, he's smart. Chris is smart. He keeps funny people around him to tell him. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Well, that's one of the reasons why his career's lasted so long, is that he's open-minded like that.
Yes.
You know, because there's a big drop-off in a lot of people's acts. You know, you'll see like early sets are really, really good, and then, you know, as they get older and older, they become almost like a caricature of themselves. Kinnison is always my best example of that. Kinnison, I think in '86 is, if it wasn't the greatest of all time, he's like, it's him and Pryor.
Yeah.
I feel like from '86 to like '88, he was the greatest of all time. I mean, he was a monster. And people who are alive today, you have to look at him in perspective. You have to look at him in perspective of what was around back then. There was nothing like that then. He came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And he just didn't last. The stuff that he put out before his death was dog shit. It was like an open micer doing an impression of Kinnison. It was terrible.
Yeah, you know what? I did. I heard one of those albums, and I'm going, well, but he was way ahead of his time, you know, when it came to such edgy
Yes.
fucking material.
Well, he just was doing coke and partying and hanging out, and there just wasn't a lot of writing going on. And there was also, I'm sure there's a lot of yes men in his fucking corner.
Oh yeah, all those guys were.
Like when Jenny worked with him on his specials too, right? Didn't he work with him on?
I
some
don't know
of
who
his
worked with
material?
him on his specials.
I was always fascinated, like how they did that. If they sat in a room and went over material,
Well,
if they.
I've seen Chris prepare. I've seen him come down. I was at Bananas one night on a weekend, the one in Jersey, and I saw him he goes, "So you're at Bananas this weekend?" I go, if you want to stop in, you know. He stopped in on Saturday. This was 2 years ago, and did 45 minutes. But he was working out stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, it was all new stuff.
So when is he stopping in? Is he doing it after your set or something?
No,
like
he
that?
went on before me. He went on, and
you were the
host.
headliner.
Yeah. So
you wait like an extra 45 minutes before you go out?
Yeah, no big deal. It's Chris. Well, the middle we took off the show. We paid. We took the middle off, and the host did like a, you know, maybe the middle did 5 minutes, whatever.
Right.
And then Chris came in and did, you know, because he doesn't want to hang out and wait for me to get done. He wants to get in and get out. So he went on, and it was pretty much new stuff. And some killed some. You know, when you're Chris Rock and you're Seinfeld or Louis, you have I guess a 3-minute pass to walk on stage, and the audience is like, whoa, but you have to be funny.
Right.
After you get that.
Right.
Okay.
Don't periscope the fucking show. Just stop.
Yeah.
Just stop. Just pay attention. Just talk. Jesus Christ.
So you know what I mean? You get a free few-minute pass. But even with his new stuff, it was almost honed, so he had it, you know. And you would see Chris walk up to the cellar, come in when he's working on walk in with his notebook, put it down, you know, and then he would throw old stuff in too, you know,
kind of get it going,
to keep the crowd going, you know. And then but you watch him and it's brilliant. But the thing I love about he loves comedy. He knows comedy. Like, we'll sit and talk, and like we'll say Rita Rudner, he'll go, one of the best joke writers ever. And she is a great joke writer. Rita Rudner knows how to write a joke. You know, and Chris knows fucking comedy. He could talk. He said to my wife, he goes, look, if you have a fucking hour of good material and you're a female and you're not famous, something's fucking wrong. You know? You know what I'm saying? I mean, true, a good hour, you know, for a female, a good hour, you know, he knows comedy. He fucking loves comedy. And that's why I love being with Bonnie. She loves comedy. She knows comedy. She could break down and see, you know,
what's good and what's bad.
What's bad and what's hacked. She'll tell me, you can't do that.
Do you write like in front of a computer on a piece of paper, or you just write on stage?
It just got to come to me on stage. Like I have this, the best bit I read recently came to me from being on stage. And it just kills. It just fucking kills.
So you don't
I'm opening
ever
my
try,
hour with it.
You don't ever try to like sit down in front of a computer?
Never in a million. If I was writing for like Tough Crowd or on Red Eye or, you know, when I was on one of those round tables, you got to write fucking dumb jokes. And even for Red Eye, I write a line, and hopefully I can ad-lib my way through the show because, you know, it's fucking the day. I'm not getting paid anyhow. So what the fuck, how much? But with Tough Crowd, I wrote stuff.
It's that Fox News show.
Yeah, it's Fox late at night. It's a round table.
Do you film it late at night too?
No, they film at 8
a.m.
8 p.m.
Oh, okay.
And it comes on at night. It's a good show for what it is. It's, you know, it's Bonnie's guest hosting it tonight. She's guest hosting. Oh. She'll be on tonight.
I've never watched it. I've only seen a couple clips of comics on it, or people saying controversial things on it, but I've never understood what it is. It's like
it's like any of the other roundtable shows. Like
it's on Fox News.
Yeah, I used to do Joey Behar when she was on CNN, and that was roundtable. You know,
she's a bright woman.
She's fucking smart,
very bright.
But she's so left.
Yeah.
Look, when you're so left and so right, to me, a lot of it, you become delusional.
Well, it gets
you can't
ideological. Yeah. Like you're locked into a certain rigid way of thinking.
You got to have a bending point. It can't be all white and black. It just can't be.
Well, what is like her big issues?
Well, I mean, she's just so left. She hates the right, Bush, everything he did was completely wrong. Everything Obama does is completely right.
So she's an Obama supporter even after all these years?
Well, I haven't seen her. I haven't done her show in so long, but she's very left-wing.
Is she still on that show?
No, it's gone. But she was so pro-comic and so, you know, I mean, her show, she had comics on all the time. I did her show 23 times, you know, 2 emails.
She sent you 2 emails?
No, from fans.
That's all you got?
No, her fan base was a little older.
They don't get online?
No, they don't go. They don't fucking write you emails. You get emails from this, from
old Democrats that live in the city. Is that what it is?
Yeah, they're gonna email me. You were funny. That's the fuck. But she's pro comic. She was great in our movie. She did our movie. You know, so her Red Eye is basically that type of show. To me, you know, people say Bill Maher's show was the first, but Tough Crowd was the first at what of comics pretty much saying what they wanted to say and saying what you couldn't say on other shows, and not only disagreeing with somebody, smacking them around a little for being stupid. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was a great show.
It was.
Why don't they bring that back? Tough Crowd, bring it back. I mean, Colin Quinn's still alive.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Is he doing a podcast? Because that would even be a good podcast. Tough Crowd podcast.
Comic,
great.
Colin puts
Might be
out
better that way, actually.
Yeah.
Colin puts out one-man shows. He's working on his next one. He did Unconstitutional. He did the one before it.
Does he like doing that better than stand-up?
Well, I guess he's so fucking brilliant, man. I guess stand-up is too easy for him, or he's not saying anything he wants to say, like he's doing in these one-man shows, you know. And
maybe he feels confined by the desire to get, you know, you have to get laughs every X amount of seconds.
And also, too, he could go into theaters and do these shows. You can't do these shows in comedy clubs, really.
Right.
You know,
it's a different kind of show.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing. And, you know, I just talked to him when I was driving here. I go, you done with your thing? He goes, yeah. And a book deal, you know, he's done with his book. But the guy's always fucking creating.
Mm-hmm.
He's always creating.
Is he a happy guy?
I think he's really centered. You know, I think he's really centered because I called him about something one day that I was really fucking torn apart about. Or he goes, did you go to a meeting or whatever? Or he goes, go. It's all bullshit. Go fucking get in touch with what's really bothering you. You know what I mean? So he's pretty centered as a person, and I think he's, I think he's comfortable in his own skin. You know what I mean? Like so many people are not comfortable,
right? Yeah,
you know, and they're hiding and they're.
Well, that's why he's really good at like playing that silly part on Twitter. Like if you go to Colin Quinn's Twitter, if you don't understand his sense of humor, people are like, "Where's the funny?" You know, I'm not seeing how you're funny. Like you're missing what he's doing, and he doesn't try to convert those people ever.
No.
You don't see him arguing with them.
He doesn't block them like I will. He's great. It's so, they don't get the fact that he's making fun of everything and he's playing a character on there. Yeah. It's so fucking, they had a big article in the New York Times about him on Twitter. How good he is on Twitter.
That's funny.
He's like the #1. You know, I heard Norm. I heard Norm Macdonald's really funny with. He does golf play-by-play.
Yes.
Golf. I haven't. I heard it's fucking brilliant.
Norm's just funny.
He's
period.
Fucking. So yeah, Colin. So probably the reason the show never came back. Well, one, it leaned a little to the right. You know, I mean, Nick leaned to the right. Colin leaned to the right. I guess Geraldo was neutral.
He was a little more left.
Yeah, he was. Who, Geraldo? Yeah, he was left. He was left.
A little left. Norton's a little right.
Was at the time a little to right. Norton's more neutral now.
Yeah.
I was more to the right then, but I'm neutral now.
Well, I think what Norton was, he was, and still is, I think, he's anti the hypocrisy of the left.
That's what that's completely, they're hypocrites.
Yeah, because it's like all the idea, like if you put it on paper and you had a checklist of what do you actually support? Gay marriage, check.
Yes.
You know, racial equality, check. Like all the things that the left pushes for, I'm in their corner on almost all of it. But then it gets to certain things that you just go, well, you guys are just silly, you know. Like, there's certain aspects of the any all left or all right ideology. It's like you can't, like, the worst thing to me is when I'm talking to someone and they talk about the Democrats. Like, look, we got to win in 2016. Like, what is this? We are you running for president?
Yeah,
like we got to win. I guess this is a team for you, and then you realize what kind of is a team for them.
Yeah,
it becomes this, you know, Patriots versus the fucking Steelers or something. It just gets to one of those things.
People voted for Obama. See, a lot of young. If you're under 25, you're not supposed. You shouldn't have a point of view. Shut your fucking mouth. You haven't lived long enough to know.
You probably shouldn't be able to vote unless you could write a paper explaining why you want Obama or this guy, and then you could have it read by people who, you know, have a brain, have life experience, but that doesn't make sense either, because
people when he won, which people wanted something different, but people voted the first election out of emotions, not out of intellect.
Well, I thought he was good out of intellect. I thought he was good. First of all, he was so much more articulate than Bush.
But he wasn't running against Bush.
But it doesn't matter. It's like coming back from that. It's like, okay, now we have someone who actually can talk, who's obviously brilliant. He's a very smart person, and his ideas, like the ideas about closing Guantanamo Bay, getting out of these fucking wars. No, it didn't. You know, but that's what you learn. You learn from a guy like Obama that it doesn't matter. That what politics really all about is about stroking the back of the people that got you there.
Yeah,
you know?
It's a business. What you got to do to keep your business running.
Yeah.
Okay. Farrakhan is a fucking brilliant speaker. Farrakhan is a great. Have you ever heard him speak? Yeah. He's a great speaker. He fucking captivates. He keeps you. You know. So, but what are they saying? What is any politician saying that hasn't been fucking said before?
Not much.
Okay, they're saying the same thing in a different change. Yeah, well, of course everybody wants fucking change. Nobody's fucking happy that the you know, mortgages are sky high, interest rates are fucking less than 0.5%. Nobody wants to, you know, at times the gas prices were $4 a gallon. Yeah, of course you want change. But all that other stuff is bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's just them trying to keep their business fucking running. That's
and
my
their business
opinion.
involves having people donate money to them to get them into office.
Yeah.
And then keeping those people happy once they get in office. I mean, that's what we found out about Obama. Obama just, if you look at him on paper, first of all, the stuff that he's done against whistleblowers, that was a whole part of his campaign, that if someone comes forward exposing illegal activity, we will protect them. I mean, that was a part of the We Are Change website. They redacted that from the website in light of the Edward Snowden and Chelsea Handler shit. Chelsea Handler, Chelsea Manning.
Ready.
What did she take off her shirt again?
That's how strong Chelsea Handler is as a personality. You say the word Chelsea, you have to say Handler after it. Not even Clinton. Not even Chelsea Clinton. You know, all that shit that happened with WikiLeaks. You know, it's the idea that they're protecting whistleblowers has been debunked. I mean, there's none of that. I mean, that was part of the promise that they were saying in office, like, if people come forth and expose illegal activity, we're going to protect them. Well, they did, and you didn't. And that was a core component of what people were looking forward from him, that he was going to be different than these fucking criminals that were in charge before he was in there.
Well, fucking the FBI, even your local detective is not going to fucking burn their informants.
Yeah.
Because their informants are what are giving them numbers.
But the problem is that what these guys, what Edward Snowden did, what Chelsea Manning did, was expose them. And, you know, that's the government. That's the very people that he works for. So the idea of whistleblowers wasn't nearly as attractive when they were blowing the whistle on the actual government themselves.
The guys in your
they
fucking
weren't, like,
building.
whistleblowing on corporations or whistleblowing on, you know, the people that fucking spilled the oil out in the middle of the Gulf Coast. It was the actual government itself, the NSA, the CIA, and they were like...
Do you think since he's been in office, and this is, right, I mean... racial divide has grown, I think, immensely since he's been in office. I mean,
in some ways, but in some ways, it's actually come around. I think people are united in a sense, in a lot of ways, because they realize how much racism there really is, how much racism black people have to deal with when it comes to the police. When you watch all these videos of black people being harassed by the cops or beaten up by the cops, or that Eric Gardner guy getting choked to death in New York.
Ridiculous. It should never happen. Should have never happened. But
it probably wouldn't happen if there was a white guy in a suit, and we all know that.
Yeah, but we know else. Okay, but you know, as much as the media exploits, every fucking time you see now there's a cop doing something wrong or doing this wrong or doing, you're not seeing, you know, 4 fucking criminals walking down the street. You don't know if they're fucking packing a weapon. You don't see them harass. It's all right now. What's selling fucking papers, and we're saying papers loosely, is what are the cops doing to black people?
Right.
That's what's selling right now.
Right.
That's what headlines are. And as many bad cops, and you know, it's maybe 1 out of 20.
Right.
1 out of, you know, the percentage is this, you know, like this. This lady, I didn't see the documentary, made a documentary about AA. All the predators in AA, all the, you know, the criminals and this and that, and people taking advantage. Well, you guess what? You got fucking people in, you know, you got peoples in rooms that were fucking ex-heroin addicts, in and out of jail, some killers, some this. Yeah, there's going to be some fucked up people.
What's the numbers that you're dealing with? You're dealing with millions and millions of people.
Yeah.
Like, here, look at it this way. How many people do you think get arrested by the cops or have interaction with the cops every fucking day of the week across the entire country? It's got to be in the hundreds of thousands of interactions every day.
Yes.
So these glaring instances, like the guy in South Carolina that shot that guy, fucked up, unbelievably fucked up.
Yeah.
What happened in Baltimore? Fucked up. What happened in Ferguson? Fucked up.
Yes.
Those fucked up instances, those become like something that they can focus on, because those are these blips. And they're, in the overall scheme of things, in comparison to how many interactions people actually have with the cops, the amount of times people get shot in those situations are fairly small. But we're dealing with hundreds of millions of people and the interactions of hundreds of millions of people on a daily basis. And you're going to find things to focus on. Does it mean there's no problem? No, there's definitely a fucking problem. If one of those things happen, that's a problem. That one instance is a problem.
That thing in Staten Island was unwatchable.
Which one is this? Oh, the choke?
It was
Eric Garden. Yeah.
Unfucking watchable. But do you think the cops went in there with the mindset, I want to kill this guy?
Well, they fucked up because they were getting... Well, first of all, they use cops to collect revenue. That's a problem. That's part of the problem. It's like they use cops to write tickets. They use cops to make arrests. They have quotas. That's fucked up. They're doing that because they want to make money, and they want these cops to be profitable for them. If no one did any crime, what the fuck would cops do if they have quotas? If there was no crime, if the whole country agreed to have a moratorium on crime for like 3 weeks, what the fuck would everybody do? They would have to start planning crime. They'd have to start faking crime and arresting people for shit that didn't happen.
Yeah, but that's the same as saying if there was no fires, firemen wouldn't have to...
No, it's not, because there's oftentimes no fires for years, and no one ever talks about, like, hey, we don't need the fire department anymore. Everybody knows that fires are always possible.
Yeah.
So you want to keep a fire department. If anybody ever ran for mayor saying, look, we don't need a fire department, everybody just stop playing with matches. All right, we're good. We just cut money off the budget. They would go, whoa, what the fuck are you talking about? But the idea of having no cops because there's no crime, people would welcome that. They would welcome that, like, oh, we don't need cops. There's no crime anymore. Like you can't like force these people to make arrests. And the idea of putting quotas on cops, if you have lazy cops that don't go out and enforce the law, well, then you need to get better cops. But what you can't do is you can't make people arrest people. Because if you make people arrest people, you're assuming someone's going to do something bad. If no one did anything bad, isn't that the whole point of having a police presence? Like, the whole point of having a police presence is people realize, oh, there's cops, I don't want to do anything bad. But if that happened, those cops would be fucked because they have quotas. You know, and people try to say there's no quotas. Bullshit.
Of course there's traffic quotas.
Fucking shit. I know cops. They tell me. Even if there's unwritten quotas, there's quotas. There's pressure on them to arrest people.
Yes,
and it's been proven time and time again there's quotas. And it varies by department. It varies by city and state. But without a doubt, there's a lot of pressure on people to arrest people.
So they can get funding.
Yes,
of course.
I mean, that's how they make money. And these asset forfeiture situations where people are getting their money taken from them. This fucking kid, there was one on Amtrak. The DEA is catching people on Amtrak because some kid had money saved up. He had $16,000 on him. Clean criminal record. No fucking history of drug sales. No history of drug use. They took his fucking money. Now this kid's got to go to school. Amtrak. Civil forfeiture. The DEA is involved in these civil forfeiture cases. It's fucking disgusting, man. Well, here's one of them. Richland, $4.1 million police station funded by civil forfeiture. You fucking criminals. Criminals. You're stealing money from the people that you're supposed to be fucking protecting. They steal, and then you have to take them to court, and you have to try to get that money back. Even if somebody made money from selling drugs, even if they made money from selling drugs, that's not the fucking police department's money. They can't take that money and buy margarita machines and all this shit they've been accused of doing, because that's what they have been. They've been convicted of doing that. It's awful.
Oh, it's a whole corrupt society. You know, I mean.
Well, it's corrupt because they've been allowed to be corrupt because they got incompetent shitheads that are running these police departments, and good cops are forced into bad situations. If you have it on the books that they're allowed to take money from people, then it's up to their discretion. And then you have these fucking idiots that, you know, just decide to pull the trigger, and you're going to have a certain amount of idiots in any group of people. If you have 500 people, you've got 5 idiots no matter what you do. No matter what you do, you poll any 500 people, 5 of them you're going to want to kill with a fucking hammer. They're assholes. No matter what you do, there's a certain amount of people that are just dumb as shit.
There's 4 in this room, and I know one of these is an idiot right here, me.
You're not an idiot,
but
Rich.
I know.
You just occasionally sound like one.
Here's, you can't get, like, look, if they want to take your property and build a highway through your fucking property, they'll do it.
No, they're not. They're not going to do it. They're not doing it anymore. They're not doing it anymore because of stories like that, because people find out about asset forfeiture. They've started to rescind those laws. They've started to pull those laws back. They shouldn't just pull those laws back. They should put everyone who fucking was a part of that in jail. Everyone who let people take some kid's $16,000 and you make them go to court for it. You know how much money it costs to fight against, and then you have to pull receipts for how you made that $16,000. This is supposed to be America, okay? You're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. You find what's $16,000 isn't that much fucking money. Yeah. It's not like the guy had $2 billion in gold bullion. Like, where'd you get it? Fuck you. Like, hey, settle down, buddy. You might have done something illegal to get $2 billion. You're only 12. No, this is a kid who earned money and they stole it from him because they decided it was reasonably suspicious.
But you're going from a whole different, from the police officer on the street doing what they got to do to stop crime and stay alive, to the bureaucrats that are passing these fucking laws, and they're just pawns. The cops are just pawns in the chess game.
Well, they may start out as pawns, but somewhere along the line, a lot of times they wind up being fucking legal criminals. They wind up doing illegal, what should be illegal shit, but it is legal.
So does half the club owners we work for. So does so does half the corporations. That one just got caught dumping. They're all banks, fucking. The banks are the biggest. Less than 0.5% interest, but when you take out a loan, you're paying what, 4-5% interest, 6% on a loan, on So,
but you agree to do that. I mean, that's something you say. Well, okay, I'll agree to this.
You have no choice.
You have no choice. You have a choice. The choice is to not get that loan. There's a big difference between that and someone stealing your money when they pull you over because they decide you shouldn't have $10,000 on you. You know, that like they've been doing that for a long time. They've been pulling people over for a long time, just taking their money. Because if you have money on you, you have to prove that you got that money through legal means. That is bullshit. And you know, it's situations like that that engender or it create this lack of trust in law enforcement. You created an enemy. You created an enemy in that kid. That kid is going to distrust the DEA and the FBI and the CIA. And anybody pulls him over, he's going to distrust them forever because you ruined his life for a long period of time. The time he's got to go to court, the sleepless nights he spent thinking of this smirking cunt that stole his fucking money with a badge on, that criminal with a fucking badge on.
But you know what? Look,
I'm a little upset.
I'm
You didn't even take money from me, Rich. What am I bitching about?
Black people, you can't even imagine the struggle because you're not black. People,
Right.
white liberals go, oh, I know your struggle. You don't know the struggle.
No, they don't know.
You don't know the struggle because you don't leave the house every day in fear. Okay. And
How about that stop and frisk shit they were doing in New York?
That's all being exploited because also, and I agree. I grew up in a black neighborhood. I seen it. I never felt it or lived it, but I seen it. Okay, because that's where I grew up. So I have the feeling of anti-Semitism that I could feel because that's what I see and feel. But you will never see the story of the cops that went in and stopped a gang war. Or broke up, you know, a husband from killing his fucking wife on a domestic call that saved his wife and that family's life and risked their lives and saved 2 kids because the fucking father or even the mother fucking lost it.
Some dummy, some bureaucrat, some dummy, some administrator, whoever the fuck passed those regulations that allowed cops to steal money from people. They're the problem. You gave them legal power. You gave them a green light, and you made it where it's not even against the law. And so they feel like they're justified in doing that. You got to be very careful of the power that you give people because it's very difficult to take that power back. And it's also very difficult to take that righteous attitude. Like, hey, they have this attitude like what they're doing is just because it's legal. Because they can't look at it objectively. It's hard.
But don't you think in the morning, 5 cops, you take 5 cops, roll call, they listen. Don't you think, I don't know what percentage, but let's even say 7 out of 10 are not going.
5 and then there's 7 out of 10.
No, I was just going to use 5
I don't even know how many grams are in an ounce.
Well, hold on. But say whatever the percentage is.
Okay.
That most of those cops aren't going to work going, I'm going to find somebody and take money. I would bet that most of those cops are going, I'm going to try to do something good today. I'm going to try to
I'm sure a lot of them
do. I'm sure more are there to protect and serve than there are to fuck you over. And I'm pretty, you know what I mean? So the ones that are there risking their lives because they're going to a job where they might not come home.
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
might not fucking come home.
Like I said, it's not them. It's the fucking people that give them laws, that pass laws that allow them to do these things.
Okay, but they
make it legal.
But the law you're talking about is where they could take that money.
That's just one of them.
Yeah, okay, but
how about stop and frisk?
Okay.
Imagine if you're a black guy and you're walking down New York and you've done nothing wrong, you're going to school, and some asshole with a fucking, a chip on his shoulder thinks it's okay for him to touch your body, start rifling through your fucking pockets for no reason. And maybe he calls you a racial slur in the process if you resist him. And there's not a goddamn thing you can do about it.
But do you don't think that happens in white areas?
It doesn't matter if it happens in white areas. I'm just saying, like,
it's not just
happening at all because you gave them the possibility. You let them on paper. You made it legal for them to do that. As soon as you make it legal for them to do things that are inappropriate that don't make any sense, like if there's no real reasonable reason to search someone.
Yes.
They're not in the middle of something criminal. They're not doing anything suspicious. They're just walking down the street. That's discrimination, and you're giving them a legal precedent. You're giving them a legal, on paper reason to pull someone over and be a cunt.
Okay, and you're right. But how many serial killers, how many rapists, how many kidnappers have been caught due to profiling? The FBI, I mean, their whole
That's not profiling.
Yes, it is
Stop
profiling.
and frisk is not
yes,
profiling.
Yes, it is profiling because they're looking at people.
Black people?
How
many people were white that got pulled over for stop and frisk? Was it even
how
2?
do you know? How do you know in Ohio that you're just looking
What is the
at
New York City law? That stop and frisk shit?
It's
That was
only in New York. It was only
that was where it was widely criticized.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure cops do similar things in other places.
Well, yes, they stop you. If you're going through fucking Toledo, Ohio, and you see 4 white kids that look like trouble, that fit a profile, cops will fuck with them.
Well, they'll ask them questions, but they're not legally allowed to start searching through their pockets like they were in New York. What they were doing in New York, that stop and frisk shit, is bullshit. That's fucked up.
I don't know enough about it. I don't know the crime statistics. I do believe in certain types of profiling. But we wouldn't catch half the, all the terrorism that has been stopped in this country, which we don't even know about. And there's been a lot. Okay, since 9/11, they have caught a lot of fucking people.
They've also entrapped a lot of people and forced them into doing terrorist shit, like that guy in Dallas. They took some guy who was like mentally challenged. They forced him into this situation where they gave him a fake bomb and gave him like a cellular phone to detonate it. And then as soon as he tried to detonate it, they arrested him.
Serious?
Yeah, it's a famous case. They tricked this dummy and they talked him. And the guy probably would have never found the means or the resources to have this bomb in the first place. Now he's in jail for the rest of his life.
But wait, was he?
He was willing to make that call and blow that bomb up.
Okay, well, guess what?
But you can convince people to join Scientology. You can convince people once they join Scientology. Should you arrest them for being retarded?
Okay, here's the thing. I don't think he was. I don't know the story, but if a cop can convince them, so can a fucking
yes.
So can
so true. True. But there's a lot of idiots out there.
Yeah, and guess what? Profiling is help stopping those fucking idiots from committing these fucking atrocious attacks.
You can make that argument. You could also make the argument that what they're doing is they're taking advantage of someone who's stupid. And they're being like very persuasive, and they're getting some dummy to do something he probably would have never done in the first place, and may have never even made contact with those kind of people in the first place, or people that have the resources to do those things.
Yeah, but why would they pick somebody like that unless there was?
Because they want to make arrests. That's reality. It's a scorekeeping thing. I mean, they want to make arrests. A lot of them, yes. A lot of them are trying to prevent crime.
Yes.
They're trying to do good. The vast majority. But the problem is, there's enough wiggle room there for assholes, and assholes get involved in police and law enforcement, and they fuck it up for everybody else, because all the good cops, they have to think about that guy in South Carolina that shot that guy in the back who was running away.
Fucking ridiculous.
Exactly. That becomes a part.
But how come you don't hear about
the good cops?
No, not even that. How come you don't hear?
Look at that. What is this? In 2012, New Yorkers were stopped by the police 532,911 times in 1 year. 473,644 were totally innocent. 89%. That's criminal.
Okay, guess what? 55% were black, 32% Latin.
Yeah, 10% white.
You know what
and the
makes
white
me
people
happy?
probably had no teeth.
You know what happens out of this?
Crackhead-looking motherfuckers.
You know what happened? Know what makes me happy about this?
What? No Jews?
No Jews.
Jews are white. They have Jews in the white category.
No, it would be Jews.
Where do you fall into?
If I
looked at you, I'd say maybe Latin. If you started talking Spanish, if I ran into you, I'd say, sí, papi. You started.
When people trash white people, I don't give a fuck. If they trash Jews, I get upset.
But white people are Jews. Jews are white people.
Yeah, but not WASP are white people.
That was right after. It's weird because look at 2012 how big it is, and then look how in 2014 the big drop. What was it like? 2000
They
stopped it. They got in trouble.
What was 2011?
They sued the fuck
out of
people.
But wait a second. Whoa.
A lot of lawful.
Does it say?
Look at 88% in 2011.
But guess what? Guess what they're not saying?
But look at it. Almost all of it is 80+% innocent.
But guess what? In these statistics, they're not saying whether crime has risen or dropped.
Who gives a fuck?
Well,
it doesn't matter. You can't just ruin people's lives. You can't just arrest people, frisk them, fuck with them, give them all this crazy stress if they're totally innocent. In 2006, it was 90% innocent. It's ridiculous. It's a stupid policy.
Did this start right after 9/11?
No.
Yeah,
Well, it started after 9/11, but they're deep into 2012 and they were doing it.
That's when it first started here.
Yeah, 2002, 86% were totally innocent.
Who was mayor at the time when this started?
82% in 2002, rather.
Who was mayor? Was it Giuliani?
Giuliani, right?
Yeah.
Well, he was a head district attorney. This guy was.
Yeah.
You know, he was.
Cocksucker.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10 stop and frisk New Yorkers have been completely innocent. That's not good.
And it makes you wonder, like what is that one? Well, oh, they had some weed on them, or you know, they had like an expired driver's license.
It's all okay. Yeah, injustice. There's fucking injustice throughout this world. There's injustice amongst blacks, whites, Jews, women.
But obviously more blacks than whites, and if you know the numbers, there's way more white people than black people in New York.
There's
That's racial profiling.
In this country.
That's an illegal policy. I mean, it might be legal, but it's an immoral, unjust, unethical, racist policy.
Should there be racial profiling towards Middle Easterns?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
At all?
No.
No racial profiling at all.
Look, if you know something about someone's past, do you know how many fucking people are in the Middle East? You know how many people that are in the Middle East that aren't terrorists? The vast majority.
Yes, you're right.
You're saying like because a small percentage are terrorists, you should racially profile the vast majority of innocent people and subject them to all sorts of scrutiny
Only at
that
the
you
airport.
wouldn't white people. Only at the airport. Why is it the airport? When are
I know.
I know. When are they going to pick fucking the NASCAR races and shit? You know, it seems like there's a lot more people to be killed at larger areas, and something about airplanes. They're terrifying already, so terror in airplanes just ramps it up even further.
You know, we have the smartest people in the world that are supposedly running these countries, these airlines. Do you know history? How different history would be with a fucking if there was a $5 deadbolt on that fucking cockpit door, okay? Just a deadbolt. Okay, how, after all the hijackings to Cuba,
how about if there were
that,
sky marshals on planes?
Yeah.
If there were sky marshals on planes before 9/11, 9/11 would have never happened. They would have just taken those fucking guys out, tack, 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 that would have been the wrap. That would have been the end of it. You have highly trained cops, you know, mercenaries, you get some Blackwater guys, whatever the fuck you got to do. Guys have been to war, know how to kill people, and you put them on these planes to guard them from assholes with box cutters, and you're done. I mean, you cost a little money, and the idea that they were unprotected from something like that, and the idea that you could use a plane as a weapon, and that had been considered long before September 11th. I mean, they had talked about that many, many times about what would happen if terrorists took over. I mean, that was not like an unthought of scenario.
So how come none of these fucking CEOs or heads of these airlines said we fucking locked the pilots in? We
save money.
They don't open the door under any circumstance.
Well, how about that fucking guy in Germany? The pilot went to take a shit. The co-pilot, who's depressed, decides to fly the plane into a mountain. And they can't even get inside. I mean, that's insane. They're pounding on the door, and this asshole just drops the plane right down into a mountain. I mean, how the fuck is that possible? How is there no fail-safe method to get inside that plane? Or how do they not have a phone where they can override, where they can call someone and who could override the controls? It seems to me like there should be another way into that and I wonder how hard it is to break that fucking door down.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's probably like a vault.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably one of those big, heavy metal doors. That
it seems pretty big, but I wonder. You know, I wonder how hard it is. I wonder how hard it is to break down. I wonder.
Was that proven that the co-pilot just flew it into the mountain?
Yeah, it was totally intentional. He was depressed. He was on antidepressants. He was suicidal. He was all fucked up.
I mean, suicide is selfish to begin. I mean, I can't deal with it. I don't know anybody. But to take a whole fucking plane down, you know,
a cunt of epic proportions.
Motherfucking.
Yeah, it's and again, you know, we focus on that. Meanwhile, there's how many thousands of planes fly successfully every day?
Yeah,
and we don't even think about that.
Why is there not one parachute on the plane though?
Well, you know what?
No sense.
You would die anyway, man. You're going 30,000 feet. You wouldn't have any air when you jumped out. You probably would die of having no air. And on top of that, it'd be freezing fucking cold. The idea that you would be fine and that you would make it, like when you parachute, you don't really parachute from that high.
Yeah,
it's very rare.
Plane's moving
and when
too fast.
They have like all sorts of special equipment, oxygen tanks and shit.
Here's, it was on, I don't know, 60 Minutes or something. I didn't see it. Bonnie told me, and it makes sense. If you went on a plane wearing a helmet or brought a helmet on, your chances of survival are a lot better because most people, when a plane crashes, hit their head on the fucking seat or whatever. They get knocked out, unconscious, and they burn to death. So if you got a fucking helmet, boom, you hit your head at the crash.
You're probably going out anyway. I got news for you. You get
a good
hit
helmet
going 500 miles an hour. Your fucking head is jello. Even inside the you know when they catch guys who die in motorcycle accidents, they call them squids. Because they have helmets on, but their neck gets snapped anyway, and so they're like a squid. Everything below the hard stuff is just mush.
Oh
yeah.
Or how come I'm waiting for the airplane to, oh man, that really fucking defeated my fucking theory. Because every time I go on a plane now, I try to get a blanket in case it's going to crash. I wrap my head up like a turban.
We got to wrap this up. I got to get out of here, unfortunately.
How come real quick? How come they don't make? God damn! When I'm on, it just flows. How come? I don't know. I bring it to another level. I don't know if Tom and Christine does what Bonnie and I do.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
The roast battle. The
roast battle. Roast battle. Roast battle. Roast battle.
Will you guys be willing to fly in for this?
Yeah, probably. We want to
something.
We want to do. We want to do a week of vacation in here anyhow.
Okay. Well, tell me when you're doing it. I'll have you guys both in studio together, and we'll promote it.
Yeah, but we got to do it in a club. You mean, right?
Yeah. No, I'm saying you and Bonnie have you guys in studio to promote it, and maybe I'll have Tom and Christina in studio as well.
That sounds fun.
On a different day, or maybe even the same day.
Same day.
Chaos.
Awesome.
Yeah, that sounds fucking
total
fun.
chaos. Yeah, we'll do it. All right, we got to end this.
Thanks for having me this weekend.
You're the best. Love
Friday
you, buddy.
through Sunday, Ventura Comedy Club. Thank you for having me again.
You're fucking hilarious.
I fucking love doing this.
And if go see him this weekend, I guarantee you're going to have a good time. If you don't have a good time, you're a shithead and you have a terrible sense of humor. Rich Voss will be at the Ventura Comedy Club Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Ventura Harbor Comedy Club.
Thanks.
Google it. You can find it. Rich Voss on Twitter.
Thank
Love you, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
All right.